Hey, I'm
Who's
dead.
that?
I'm still dead.
We're the ghost of Bryan O'Donnell here, spooking us all out, being real spooky for the folks at home. He died last week, and
Yeah,
now his ghost is so committed to being the only
well,
tolerable way to watch the city council that we're back in action
my
from the grave.
my ghost loves crafty kombucha so much that I wouldn't stay dead.
It might pass right through his celestial frame, but
I'm gonna
that's
try.
okay.
I'm gonna try to go back to my corporeal form. If we can all just say a silent prayer for me for 1 minute, I think I could maybe do it. Yay! It worked.
Whoa, summoned back to life. Look at that.
Welcome to Worcester Council Theater 3000, everybody. There I am.
Yeah.
Uh, so good to be back, Bill. I missed you, buddy.
Missed you too. I was really worried when you were dead, but now that you're back alive. It's a big weight off my shoulders.
Yeah,
Very
we
much
get
for sure.
a great one tonight. I missed.
Yeah, we're gonna end the nuclear crisis. We're gonna
Yeah.
end
Oh,
all.
thank God.
We're gonna end all nuclear arms tonight. Councillor Sean Rose has a resolution in support of the general concept of nuclear disarmament, something Worcester has a lot of control over, and it will surely it'll surely go very far.
It'll fail 6-5.
That'd be so sick. That man, split photo on nuclear disarmament, great story. There's your headline, folks. Yeah, other than that, the city manager is going to tell us how 4 million gallons of sewage got into Lake Quincy. It's like the fourth time something like this has happened in 5 years. After
5 million gallons of wastewater went into.
Oh yeah, they upped it to 5. Yeah, 5 million.
That's almost
gallons
as much
of
as is in one polar seltzer.
It takes 5 million gallons of polar seltzer to create one 12-ounce bottle of lake poop water. Other than that, we got some financial stuff that's a little bit boring. And George Russell wants all the lobbyists in a registry, which is kind of a weird one. But
yeah, I mean, fine.
Yeah, I don't know how many lobbyists there are outside of the Chamber of Commerce, but George Russell them all wearing a gold star. So I'm curious to hear what he thinks he's going to accomplish by that, and a little bit about where he's coming from with that one.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I can't wait to hear this one.
It's definitely a weird one.
Well, to discuss it all with us tonight, our permanent guest, you know him, you love him. Welcome to the screen, Dr. Brendan Melican, everybody.
Hey, brother, how are you? Welcome back to being alive.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
Yeah, like nothing changed.
Yeah, the world is still awful.
Yeah, it is. It is. I got my smell back mostly this week.
Good, great.
Good.
No,
you going down to Lake
Smells good. Yeah, nothing smells good. You would. I mean, it turns out that smelling is only useful for knowing you're not on fire. Otherwise, there's no upside to it at all.
Yeah.
What you've
gone ice
a food store.
I'm curious to hear what you guys' thoughts on the city delving into foreign policy actually are. Don't we actually have a rule that bans them from doing this?
Do we?
Bill's talking to himself now, it seems.
Sorry. No. I had to adjust my fancy mic. But I don't know if there's any rule banning themselves from.
I'm pretty sure there's a rule that the council took up years ago specifically to keep them from debating stuff that's just so far outside of their purview that it and again So it's not, I mean, I get what Sean's trying to do here, I think, but it's like Cambridge does stuff like this a lot where, I mean, Cambridge is probably violating treaties sometimes with the kinds of votes and orders that it takes. Because the whole supremacy clause thing goes right out the window. Like, I feel though that they do have a rule that, and that's probably what Mo is going to be the one to bring up and say, get the hell out of here with this shit.
Yeah. And he'll still be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing changes, but he is right in this case.
Yeah. Hey, a shitty squirrel finds a nut every.
Yeah. You know what? I would love for that whole thing to devolve into like a really, really, really heated debate on Israel. Yeah. It's like that's kind of like what. Never mind.
So the group that Shaun pulled this from, I was trying to poke around this morning to see what I could find. It looks like it's a group specifically targeting municipal governments to take this vote as a way to show solidarity with a global sort of disarmament push. Boston and Cambridge both recently, and a couple other Massachusetts communities have taken up votes from this group and passed them. So it seems like Shaun is just kind of taking a baton from folks in Boston and to try and do the same thing here. But again, I think it's already barred from the council's rules.
That's interesting because I read through the council's rules today to try to figure out whether or not it would be legal for the Board of Health to do 2 votes in a row on the mask thing.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. That.
Yeah, I'm halfway through a post on that I'll be probably posting later tonight. But it is as far as I can tell, just a little bit spurious, but not entirely legal or against the rules for the Board of Health to just go whoops and take up the exact same item a week later. But it is certainly funny.
What a classic. I was thinking about when I was listening to the latest episode of WGBH. Whatever that means.
Yeah, right.
And I was thinking about like it's just perfect at Augustus, like city of Worcester, to like put a shill on this board just to like do what he wants and then fuck it up by just not saying that he's actually on it in the correct way. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's so wild,
infuriating and hilarious.
Yeah,
and if they don't have that rule, that's kind of disappointing too, because it just means we can just do do-overs until you get exhaust people into getting the vote you want.
Yeah. I have the Board of Health specific rules and procedures that got sent to me from the city's law department today, and they don't say anything about that, but they do defer to Robert's rules when something isn't specifically mentioned, and it's not clear if you can do that under Robert's Rules of Order. So there's probably some sort of open meeting law complaint or something that could be filed on this, but still working on that.
One of the other things that I've heard recently that from a past meeting, the WRTA apparently is moving their Rosa Parks signs when buses are crowded. Like, so they took the most hollow gesture they could have possibly extended to the city. And
if they're putting them in the back of the bus, I swear to God, I'll fucking kill myself. I swear to God, I'll fucking kill myself.
Imagine the media shitstorm that's going to follow on Worcester when somebody inevitably takes a picture of the Rosa Parks sign in the back of the bus.
I will move. I will move. That is why. I mean, hey, listen. Upside, at least the buses are crowded lately.
No, that's the part that really I found shocking. I did not find shocking about them managing to hollow out the most hollow gesture ever. But yeah, that there are people on the bus. Go figure.
Damn, that is an amazing story.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit.
Tomorrow I'll probably, if I can get the WRTA to confirm that on the record. That'd be really funny to get this.
If anybody's riding the bus tonight, please look for evidence of this as well. Let's get a picture in the wild.
I imagine it's just like there's no full buses, but there's just like one weird race bus driver that's like, my bus is too full. People want to sit there, get this shit out of here. And the administrator's like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. Hey,
Good thing your
he's a
bus
good
is
driver.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this will probably be. I mean, I'm saying it now. Knock on wood. This will probably be a pretty quick one. Not a whole lot besides the things that we've already mentioned tonight. But I imagine they'll talk for a long time about the shit and like say,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
not really get anywhere with it. Because it's, I don't know. There's some deeper investigation to be done in this, because that pump system plant thing, whatever it's called, was rebuilt in 2015, and it's had like 4 major failures since. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there, if it was just really, really poorly rebuilt or what. So,
And this
we'll
is
see.
kind of what we do in the city, right? I mean, this is what got us into legal trouble with the EPA and the entire state of Rhode Island, because of the amount of wastewater that dumps from basically the canal district into the Blackstone Canal and then into the Narragansett Bay.
Right.
You have to go back to Robert Moylan when they were having conversations about that, and I don't know that much has really been done. Yeah, we have a really bad problem shitting into public water supplies. That seems to be it's like Worcester's thing. It's like we're like, just you'd think you would figure that one out.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty basic stuff to have that be airtight. It was so hilarious. I had Augustus on the radio today on Radio Worcester, and he was like, "Well, it certainly is a big deal, but it's not as big a deal as you think, because there's 20 billion gallons of water in that lake, so it's not all shit water. It's
so then
just
why
5
do we even
million."
try and stop it ever?
Yeah,
I mean,
right. Yeah.
one of us should go over to the pool at Ed's condo complex, take a big dump in that, and see how
Yeah.
thrilled he is. And
Ed, look how much water's in there. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they have anything to add on that, or if they're just going to be like, oh well, it sounds like the city manager's handling it and not really putting any real pressure on. Aaron Williams stepping down as the city's chief cultural officer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never knew what that was or what she did, so I have no thoughts at all.
So we had some dealings with her in the film industry. So she had a little bit of that, and I don't know anything about what the reason is, but the sunset clause ended. There's going to be a lot more film stuff happening. She's probably leaving for a job like connected to film in some way, like either lobbying for or working for one of these production houses or something like that can use her leverage her connections.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, the press release I got to say where she was going.
Or someone's going to build a studio or sound stages close by, and they want somebody that can be a lobbyist.
When you say that the sunset clause there, what are you referring to, Brian?
So the tax incentive program for filming in Massachusetts was a pilot program that they had started and then extended once, and it was supposed to end this year in 2022. And last year they removed the sunset clause, so it's indefinite now.
Okay.
So what we're probably going to see is a lot more production happening here. I mean, not a ton more than happens on a regular basis, because there's about as much as can be handled right now. But what we'll really see is more investment. No one has wanted to invest like what it would take to develop, more production space and things like that, or because the program could go away. So in Devon's, there's a studio, New England Studios. It's 4 sound stages, and it costs $30 million to build. And that was kind of on a lark 10 years ago because no one knew how long it was going to last. And now it's unless they decide to end it, it's gonna keep going. So I imagine it's been my thing for a while. I keep telling people is that there should be stages near. We should have told Polar Park to fuck off and built 2 huge sound stages right in that spot, and we would be raking in money right now for the city. It's insane how much money goes into production.
Right.
And it's all if you're where it's happening, it's all just it's all just incoming for the most part. We already do see that the Massachusetts Film Office is you should see it on productions, but we're going to see it a lot more. We're going to see it in more movies now. You don't see a ton of movies that are fully filmed in Massachusetts. We get a lot of mid-sized productions, a lot of effects heavy stuff because they can put pieces together. That's why if you're downtown and you see a production happening that shuts down Main Street for a couple days, they're usually playing one corner for a big piece of a huge CGI heavy scene. The new Black Panther movie has a bunch of stuff they shot at the police station, and then some car chases down Front Street in that whole area. Yeah, we're gonna see more. I mean, selfishly, that's a good thing because that's what I do. But I'm interested to see what becomes of it, what the actual development or investment is, because these things don't always work out to be positives. And if this city or this state aren't willing to kind of stand their ground when it comes to these huge Amazon and Netflix and that stuff, then it could easily become less of a beneficial thing. But as of right now, it's good. It's the crews are all local, brings a ton of money into the area. As long as things are handled correctly, it could be good. So I don't know. It seems like something people are starting to like. Do you hear whispers of things happening? And I wouldn't be surprised if she got a job somewhere. And the city just blocked us from watching the stream. That's so crazy.
What?
Handle us.
What?
Well, I don't know. Yeah,
extending the offer to host the stream. I think that if we were the official city stream, that'd be really good.
Yeah, I think it could help. I mean, they're all watching it anyways, as we found out.
And also, this little Instagram stories before we get to the orders.
Behind
wait,
maybe we'll take the last week on diversity.
Woot Nanny was tagged in a couple posts that were whoever's managing their stream is also watching our stream.
So
that's awesome.
We do public participation,
and I don't know. I think we're getting closer to figuring out who Slow Paquito is, maybe.
So first of all, approval of the minutes.
Slow Paquito.
Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Caloria?
Yes.
Councilor Adjie?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
I don't know
Councilor
nothing, Mo
Carlson?
Bergman.
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
If it turns out as Nico, I will be so fucking happy.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
That really would be fantastic.
Person may speak for no more than 2 minutes, and any other appearing on the agenda.
Okay, here we go.
House here and,
Party starting, everybody.
This your names to your residence and item number.
Yes. This is, hello. My name is Bob Michelle. I live at 58 Elm Street. And this is in regard to 21A.
I am Emperor Palpatine.
Requesting an update of an executive order by the city manager to address and assess.
Executive Order 66.
Yeah.
He looks so much like Emperor Palpatine. It's unreal.
It's crazy. Sheev? Is that Sheev right there?
The council members also were petitioned.
Shouldn't you be in a back to tank making clones or some shit?
No.
The executive order and which the council members supported.
You know what? He looks like a mix of. From this angle, he looks like Grand Moff Tarkin. Absolutely correct. From the other angle, he looks like Emperor Palpatine. This is amazing.
So I look forward to hearing about his.
He's just here to discuss the tragedy of Darth Plagueis.
And
The
eventually
dead
it'll probably go to
speak.
Committee. People want to have more deeper discussion on that too. Okay, anybody else here? Anybody else? Mr.
Expecting
Coleman?
anyone of the council to speak to the CEO from St. V's about her statement saying Worcester would be better off without the M&A?
Yeah, that would be good.
Coleman III, Worcester.
I think that she screwed her chances
I
like
wanna
once
speak
and for
about
all with that
21A.
statement. Didn't go over very
And
well.
I've got the
I can't
summary
imagine.
report from the diversity officer, which is public and online. But
Oh, I
wanted
forgot
to
about the
say
diversity
that
stuff. Yeah.
First, congratulations have to
Bill
be
dressing
to
down
the
tonight.
city manager.
Yep.
Okay, he ordered
Doing
this.
Carhartt shit
and
tonight.
The sad thing about being old and being around for a long time, in 1979, when the city of Worcester had a auxiliary police officer, some of these issues were addressed, not the ones about officers being in the public schools, as they weren't at that time. But we had something that said our police officers do not reflect our community. And it's about time we did it. And we had auxiliary.
Yeah, we
police
wouldn't want that.
around little K cars. That was from 1978 until 1981 when the budget cut that program out of existence. But as I look at the summary report and I see all the things that are complete, resolve the different things that are happening. Okay, yeah, we get the police officers out of the schools. We listen to a lot of people in the community, and the city responded. And our chief diversity officer has written this incredible summary listing the things that are happening, the things that are complete, and the progress that we're making. And I give, I give recognition to the city manager, to the city council. Thank you, Councilor King, for asking this to be held over. And the sad part about being held over in this time that we live in to get input from the community is the churches aren't meeting in person. So normally,
Yeah, this is a city council
this
fit
would
for
be
sure.
Conversation after a church service. People are communicating through social media.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
I see the hits coming in on
Being dead
social
was pretty
media
cool, but
about this, but
I missed my
highly
guys.
supportive. And it's
I
highly
missed-
supportive of this council.
I missed the
to even
commenters.
Allow this to go through, and I look forward to it going to subcommittee.
Can you wrap
Yep,
up your
that
comments?
definitely happened.
Yeah, I look forward to going to subcommittee so that we might have a chance to get that public input. And I hope.
I gotta
we
tell you
encourage
guys,
the
Clementine
public to
ain't
write letters
shit.
to the editor supporting the efforts made
That's
by
all
the
I
city
gotta say
to
about
make
that. Thanks,
definite
Mo.
change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What's your name and city of residence? And item number.
Slacking.
Welcome back.
Here
You
it
got
is.
slacking.
What a
My name is
smart
David
tie.
Sacken, and I'm a resident of the beautiful Colonizer
He looks like
Park
he's
neighborhood.
got leave for
which is
class
the
at St.
district
John's.
which
What did he just
represents
say?
which represents
Colonizer
Colonized
Park.
neighborhood.
people.
Oh
He
my
says that
God.
every time.
Speak in support
Really?
of
I've never
Bill
noticed.
903
Oh, it's Columbus
related
Park,
to
so,
ARPA
yeah.
funding,
Yeah.
and emphasize the importance of 9P. Request city manager
So he's
prioritize
definitely running for
communities that have
something.
been disproportionately
Yeah.
impacted by COVID-19 when allocating ARPA monies to various initiatives. A year ago, the Massachusetts
Hey, if it's for
Department of
state
Public
senate,
Health
great.
released a study that showed, quote,
Yeah,
groups
go for it.
including LGBTQ populations, people of color, lower income households, and those with disabilities often experienced more worry about COVID-19, less economic stability during the crisis, and greater rates of delayed medical care, end quote. These data also found, quote, both
Did you guys hear that
Hispanic and Black populations more than
the REI
7
CEO
in 10 people
started
surveyed expressed
a
concern
podcast
that
about
just one crucial
how he
expense,
doesn't want
bills,
a
such as
union
housing
for
and
REI by
compared to
it, with a
4 in
land
10
acknowledgement in
white
his
Hispanic.
pronouns? That is pretty
We
cool.
need to prioritize ARPA funding is utilized to support people of color in lower
He's
income
like, my
households.
name is blah, 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 and I'm on blah, blah, blah territory.
That means
Now,
it's
here's
important
why a union is not a great fit for
to
REI.
involve them in conversations about how this council
So
and the city
sick.
manager will dispense these funds.
Ugh.
These funds represent a once
We're a company that cares.
transformational investment we can make into
I was talking with
supporting
one of my
and
friends
fixing
today
our
at work,
communities most
and
vulnerable.
we were just
Or it can
saying
be used as a
how
giant slush fund for
like,
the city to allocate as they choose behind
the
closed
world
doors. I'd also like to
It's
speak on
weird to
item
say that the
21A
best
on
day of your
tonight's
life, the
agenda,
last good
an
day of
update
your
on
life
the
was
executive order
9/10/2001,
to institutional
because every
discharge
day
policy.
after that has just been
Specifically, I'd like
marred
to
by
request an update on the
like
status of
evil
social
and
outreach workers
stupidity.
and/or licensed
Yeah,
specialists
yeah.
during a
Every-
mental
And
health
we'll never, my life will
understanding is that
never
the funding
like
has been allocated toward
get
this
back to
issue,
that. It'll
and
just
Health and Human
like
Services has
that was the
Yeah.
best
been
it was
able
ever
to
gonna
find an
get.
organization
every
dedicated to
day
combating issues.
What
What can be done to prioritize
is the
this
dumbest
issue
day in
so that
American
mental health
history,
professionals
a record which
can
will
provide
only be
emergency
beaten by the
services to those
subsequent day.
experiencing a mental health crisis
Yeah.
ASAP.
It's
Yes,
sick
sir.
times. I love
We know
it.
COVID
Yeah.
is
Anyone
we know
recognize
COVID
the
is
guy in the
exacerbating health
back row
issues
there
and
who's
it's
looks like he's
imperative
getting
we
ready
get
to
these
rob a
mental
bank?
health workers in the
I think
field
he's got to be a
ASAP.
reporter, right?
Thank
It
you.
looks like he's taking notes.
See, nobody else will go to the.
He can't be
virtual.
taking notes on his cell phone. That'd be so annoying.
It looks like Spider-Man, Tom Holland.
It does look a little
When I
bit.
say your first 6 digits of your phone number, can you please say your name and your city of residence? The first phone number is 508-961. Can you please state your name and city of residence?
Hey,
unmute you
you know
now.
what? I'm feeling real bad that I missed it. Can somebody call in and tell them to fuck themselves?
Okay, not
But
hearing
if you
from
do,
508-981.
you didn't come
We're
from
gonna
here.
move on to the next phone
No.
number.
Say that Jenny Pacillo told you to do it.
Next number is 774-287.
You know what? Say Ed
unmute you
Augustus
now.
told you to do it. That'll
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
show them. They won't know what
Janet
to do.
Davis, Worcester resident. I'm calling about item 21.
Hi, my name is Bill Shaner, Worcester resident, and Ed Augustus is a former lover of mine.
Specifically,
Things
the
ended
part
very
about
badly
talking
between
about
us.
teacher and city workforce reflecting the
Oh, by the
community.
way, everybody,
Just like a status
drink crafty
on
kombucha.
update on
This is
putting
the most
workforce
this
diversity stats
this
on the
viral
city's
T-shirt
webpage.
that everyone's
Thank
talking
you.
about, right?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, right.
Next
Yeah.
number is 508-251.
Get crafty
I'm
kombucha
gonna
from your
unmute
local
you
store.
now.
If they don't carry it, then you
Good
tell
evening,
them that Ed
councilors.
Augustus
Good
told
evening, Mayor. My
you
name
to
is
tell
Mike
them to fuck
Morrissey.
themselves.
I am from actually Marlborough, Massachusetts.
Whoa,
and my
Morrissey's
wife and
calling.
I are the co-founders of Baby Safe Haven New England. We're calling and I'm speaking on behalf of item 10H, which is about our Baby Safe Haven law having an annual week where we try to maximize the amount
Sounds like a trap.
of awareness amongst the community of
This
Gen
guy's
Zs
definitely
and
telling them to go
millennials.
fuck themselves.
That's been
Yeah.
our focus now for 5 or 6 years. And Worcester has
No,
had a
he's-
I run an
major
organization.
part
You
of
can just
Baby
bring
Safe Haven
babies here.
awareness
We'll like
and has been a
save
big
them.
leader
So
in
just
the way we've
give me all the
seen
babies you
abandonment
got.
of newborns go down 95% in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Freak.
A massive drop, better than any other
This
community
guy
in the United
sounds
States
like
or any
he's
other
harvested
state in
some
the United
from.
States.
Gotta
You
say.
led the way with our first spokesperson.
Hi,
young
I run
spokesperson
Baby
up here
Safe
in
Haven, and
Worcester.
I work for Hillary Rodham
First time
Clinton.
she
I
appeared
mean,
with, was in Worcester. Our first TMZ was through the Worcester Charter TV, and we want to have concerts and celebrations on the first week of school because that's the week everything changes for every young person in the age groups that we have to get information.
Babies
We're gonna
don't
have
go to
They need
school.
to see the information
Yeah.
just as they're walking into
we're gonna have a
school.
big party, and
you
everyone's
know,
gonna have a
Worcester
real
is
good
very much a
time. And
college
you know,
community
maybe a
with
couple freshmen
thousands
get
of young
together, and
people
then they
coming
got to
from
drop a
states
baby
where
off
there is
for us
zero
almost a year
awareness of
later.
safe haven
You
laws.
can't get into the
And
party
we
without a
had
baby.
a couple of concerts in the last
It's like
year.
a food drive.
They are.
One was right on the Worcester Common. We'd
This
love to do
Baby
another
Safe Haven
one.
is great.
This one
They
would be
are
for ours
incredible.
rather than
But
us
what would
sponsoring
we be if
or
not?
bringing our Baby Safe
Yeah,
Haven
don't
stage
abandon
Talking
babies
shit.
in the
for
woods
us
just
to speak
because we're
of
laughing at
for
the
that.
idea
That's what
of
it's all
babies being
about.
safe.
We want to thank everybody at the Worcester City Council, literally everybody in Worcester that's been incredibly supportive. All our work's been, successful. It's because of some great young people that have helped us, including our newest spokesperson, who is a Worcester student and resident, and she will be appearing at some of these shows throughout the Commonwealth. And we hope to kick the first one off in Worcester. Thank you.
This piece of shit didn't even thank the babies. You would be nothing without these babies.
Unmute you now.
Hi, is this me?
It is.
Yes, you are.
No, it is not you.
Am I alive?
My name is Margot Barnett, and I'm a resident.
Is this
of Worcester.
me?
I'm speaking also on item 21A. I want to thank the city manager for the executive order. And I want to specifically address the issue of
That baby's
removing
name?
the
Pickleball.
the SROs from schools and developing a school safety plan. I want to thank the city manager first for including this in the order and selecting a task force with knowledgeable and thoughtful community leaders to develop the plan. There's many encouraging points in the plan. I'm grateful that they took some direction from the information in the excellent forum that Christian King sponsored on this subject. And I also, parenthetically, I want to thank the city manager for implementing a request that I made about making the attachments on the agenda much more accessible. And I'm really pleased that that happened and could, and that I think that improves transparency and makes it, to address about this. The memorandum of understanding between the school department and the police department.
Apparently not.
The,
There's no limit.
liaison officers was supposed to be developed by the end of January. I'm wondering if that, I'm wanting to know if that has in fact been developed.
Yeah,
and also
no idea.
If so,
Maybe they
Yeah, I
changed
don't know.
how they're attached. Were they attaching them as
I haven't been able to find it.
not PDFs before, or
Comment
as
about
PDFs? And
in developing this,
It's like a PDF. You have to click on a separate thing, and then
developed a memorandum of understanding for
yeah,
purposes
I don't know.
about
The way I've been doing it's the
RO,
same
I know
way.
we don't have any more. But I think it would be a
well, we
good
got
don't
so
know.
damn many of them. You got to put them somewhere.
and, make
There's
sure
like
our memorandum
there's a
for
couple
RO,
different ways to get the council
would be
agenda,
in line with it
and
around the limitations
if you get it off the
of-
municipal calendar, it comes with the attachments.
point
And
about
if you
the
get it off
replicable
of
plan
city
is-
council
I have a little bit more.
subpage of the
I'll try,
website,
I'll
you
try,
get a
but I have
different
another
form
question.
of the
The plan
agenda
is good
that
as
doesn't have the
implementation.
attachments.
The,
Or they're either
a lot of the
not
purview of the
included,
Worcester
or
Public
you have to
Schools,
scroll
the school committee
from
has
like a
oversight of.
200-page
But
PDF.
you,
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor, are the chair of the
the
school
attachments
committee,
at the
and
bottom.
they don't.
I
allow
don't
the
think
same
they've
type of
streamlined that.
testimony.
I don't know what she's
So
talking
I'm
about.
doing some of this here. So I'd like to
She
know
just
the
go to the
progress
municipal
working with
calendar.
Wanted some
communities
credit.
that are cited in the plan, community
She
groups.
just she
I'd
told a
like to
lot of
know
her
the
friends that she
progress
did
of
this, and she
support
doesn't want to
personnel,
back down on it now.
and
So
I
also
appreciate
to
it.
she
that
says it on the.
education committee should ensure that there's funding for the
Hey, can we
increased
play her
wraparound
off?
services and
Thank you.
and
Da, 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 da.
Mayor, the next speaker is 551-250.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you, thank
Hello,
you so
how
much.
can you hear
Thank
me?
you.
We can't go ahead.
Okay. My name is
I just
Helen
wish
Messina,
one
and
time
I'm calling
Nico would
in
just
support
say
of
no.
item 10B,
Nope.
Yeah,
which is
no.
a PI item. So I live in Lakeside community where city trucks enter small spaces where children live and play daily. The main problem is that the vulnerability of pedestrians and people in smaller vehicles is that trucks are often weigh 20 times as much as passenger cars and are taller with greater ground clearings, resulting in smaller vehicles and pedestrians in danger of being run over by trucks. The area does not support 2 or 3 cement or gravel
Math
trucks
checks out.
entering a parking area where tenants on both sides are parked on both sides of the road. We do not own our home. However, there must be protection for Worcester Housing Authority residents whose lives are endangered by the city's construction of the new Columbus Trail Boardwalk. The original plans made no mention of using our front yard as construction throughway. However, that is precisely what has happened. And I fear that someone from my community will die if the trucks keep coming in and out. So we do need someone here to assess the danger risk factors so that the child that
This is a
dies
solutions-oriented meeting
I
tonight.
also
We
want to
got it all
support
figured out.
9P. Lower income communities and marginalized groups should be prioritized in distributing COVID funds.
I know we don't hear from that guy often, but he is officially the baby man from now on.
Give those children to the baby man.
But then they're going to need trucks for the baby man, and it's all going to be a problem again.
Have gone ignored and who are removed
The baby man.
Yeah, the baby man kicks the shit out of Suit Man.
supposed to be members of the
The
community.
baby
who
man
have some kind of
cometh,
profession,
and the
I
baby
think
man
right
taketh
now,
away.
people that are chosen are just, you know, the same people chosen for every
I'm
other
picturing a
community.
sack.
So
What
please
about you
think
guys?
thoughtfully about what you were
Yeah,
doing,
he's
because the
essentially a
people who these
Krampus.
funds were intended for originally are not going to see a penny.
His slogan
for
is
any
like, you
meaningful
don't know where the
solution
baby
if something
go.
is not done. So please help us and use the funds for what they were intended.
You don't need to know where the babies go. Just know that I'm taking them away.
559. I'm gonna mute you now.
Fuck.
Just listening.
Oh, that's a private,
Alex
public-private
Paul,
partnership we can all get
Alex.
behind. The baby man. He comes once a
The
week,
baby
picks
man.
up all the
I couldn't
kids.
see it. I had my hand raised. I'm calling regarding 21A as well, specifically the item about the municipality incorporating racial equity goals and objectives into their annual departmental development plans. which seems really laudable, but I'm curious, there's a lot kind of packed in there. And the report says they'll be included in the fiscal year 23 budget documents, but I'm curious if we can get a sense of
meaningless gesture,
what the actual outcomes are expected to be and what the plans will be, and if there's going to be any sort of public comment or participation in different plans for different departments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shh.
Nico?
Just accept the
Mr. Mayor,
meaningless
next speaker
gesture.
is Claire Schaefer Duffy. I'm going to try to mute Claire now.
Going nuclear now.
I didn't.
Claire, you're unmuted.
Oh, God, I didn't mean to.
I did not expect to be speaking tonight. I'm sorry. I'm just listening.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Shut the fuck up,
Mr. Mayor, the
Claire.
next speaker is David Ford. I'm going to mute David
Claire,
now.
you suck.
Send you to the baby man.
Thank you so much
David
for,
Ford, Board of Health.
allowing me
Here we
to
go.
speak today.
Gary Rosen's a dumb bitch.
I just wanted to speak on
Go
item
fuck yourself.
21A. I was asked to come and speak tonight just briefly. I just want to applaud the city manager for his executive order when it comes to equity. I appreciate that, and I think a lot of people in the community appreciate that. But one of the things I want to talk about specifically is about the Civilian Review Board with subpoena power. As many as you know, is that I was the chair and a
Crudely
member
missing.
of the Board of Health. I was on the board for 7 years.
Did he step
Over
down,
the last
or
year
was
and
it
a
like
half, the civilian?
I don't know the
Step down.
backstory there.
Really
Yeah,
pushed
I don't know the
idea of
backstory.
civilian
Some
His
review
time
board.
wasn't up, though,
shit.
correct?
This
No.
meeting,
He
what
could
I'm
have stayed
speaking
on?
tonight, I'm
Okay.
speaking to all people, everyone on the city council, but specifically to the new members of the city council. Basically is that the Civilian Review Board, what it does is to basically look into the happenings and within
Nah, there's something more to that.
Essentially, with the Board of Health, what we had was that we had a conversation, eventually have a conversation with the city, with the chief of the WPD. And at one point, him and a number of other, some of his colleagues mentioned that there was no racism or no racist or biased cops within the WPD.
Right.
And unfortunately, that was something that was doubled down and tripled down. And essentially is that we've had case after case where we've had police misconduct. We've also had cases, we also had a long protracted case where the WPD basically withheld information from the media and from the public. What happens with the Civilian Review Board is that it gives the public or the people on the board investigative powers in order to look into the happenings that goes on within the WPD. Basically, is that we can't
Not going to happen,
trust
David.
what goes on.
Never
It's a
gonna
public health
happen.
issue. We can't trust
Never,
what goes on in
ever
the
gonna
WPD
happen.
in terms of investigations. And
I would
thankfully,
love it,
the
but
Telegram has
the closest thing we're going to
uncovered
get
a
is
number of
Hector
issues.
Pinheiro.
So basically, is that
The thing that I
basically is
thought would
that
be,
the city of
we may have
Worcester
talked
needs
about
to go
this
in line, just
when
like
I first came on
Boston,
with you guys, but there was a
Cambridge,
moment when they were
Springfield
discussing
all have
hiring an
civilian review
assistant city
boards. We're the
manager,
second biggest city in New
specifically
England, and we
to
don't
oversee
have
public
one.
safety.
And so, to the new members,
As a result
I know this
of
will be
that
coming in
fire
front of you
department
at some
audit that
point.
had come out.
Definitely,
That struck
yeah,
me,
right.
have the
that
city
struck me as an
manager and you
opportunity
guys
where you could end up
to
with
vote
something similar
in order
to
put this on the agenda and
the
move
Civilian
it
Review
forward.
Board by
Thank you.
having professional executive oversight of
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The
public
next
safety in the
speaker
city.
is David Metchwick. I'm going to try to mute David now.
Yeah, but then they're just
Hi, can you hear me?
another like cog in the.
Oh, totally. It's just,
Oh,
you know,
hi.
it's
But
always
it's
struck me
something.
as odd that
expecting to speak
the
on
city
it, but,
manager doesn't flex
just
more
briefly,
on
I'll say
them being the
I
head of
am
public
supporting,
safety in the city. And
the
there's a lot of communications that probably
21A
should be making
around
their way
the-
in the form
any
of public
follow-up
record
around the
to the city hall side
racial
of things,
justice
out of the police
equity
department,
initiative, and also I'm
that just
very
don't
interested
because
in
they're a
the
self-contained
follow-up
entity.
around broadband access. But also, I was wanting to really strongly support and interested in Sean Rose's proposal to, I don't know what number it is, but for to support whatever way the city could support nuclear disarmament. And specifically, I looked at the Bring Back from the Brink, several of their proposals, and they're really common sense and very much needed in terms of looking at security, new approach to security for the 21st century. rather than
it's not going to happen.
Nuclear
stockpiles. The city manager never
for domestic needs. So
we need two. In a best case scenario, we need 2 more election cycles
the next speaker is
to
Fred
change the
Taylor.
makeup of the city council, who would then
Hello, good
fire
evening.
and
Fred Taylor,
hire a new
Worcester
city manager
resident,
that would be open
president of
to
Worcester
it,
Prevention
and then they
of
have to
Worcester.
overcome
It could happen in
the
one
police.
more election cycle.
Speak on a couple items.
Three more
It
people.
could.
Municipal operations. I want to thank Chairman Councilor King, as well
You're
as
right, Mo Bergman.
Councilors Rose and Russell.
We gotta, you know what? We gotta nuke Lakewood Sig.
Yes, arms race going with Auburn.
I wonder if I posted on like the Truth About Worcester official, if I was like, Sean Rose is trying to take away the Worcester Police Department's nuclear weapons. Like there'd be a bunch of people calling into the meeting right now. I don't think it's right. Sean Rose is trying to take away the Worcester Police Department's nuclear weapons.
I've been speaking about oversight the last several weeks. 9S, we're looking forward to solicit a granting letting
Sean Rose is trying to take away the city's nuclear weapons, and now the pedophiles can't be stopped.
Adding diversity goals, prevailing wage, as
Diverse
far as other requirements on the opera funds. There should be some requirements to this money, just like tips and ties.
Opera funds.
We need to make sure that everyone knows when it was advertised for the opera funds, that this money was advertised to go towards people who were mostly affected by COVID-19, and everyone knows who those people were. We need to be sure that this money goes to the people who are mostly affected by COVID-19. 21A, Civilian Review Board. I agree with David Ford. We need to have a Civilian Review Board.
They just contract out Spectrum to do it, Ben.
An investigation has been formed, but we need something that the people can feel confident that they have a voice, they have a seat at the table when something is allegedly has gone wrong. So I agree.
Worcester had nukes. Gloria would put an item on to fire them at the
I
homeless.
thank the city manager, the mayor, Councilor King, and the rest of the city council.
I just think
spoke with Dr. Joe tonight. This is about the Black History Trail. He said that I could speak
every arrow in our quiver.
Support for the Black community. This history trail is going to be very important for the Black community in the city of Worcester. It's going to be really good. It's just a sample of the history of what the Black community was like or has been in the city of Worcester. There's a lot of powerful people here that won't be recognized, but this is a really good start. And for Black History Month, I just want to remind everyone that Black Americans are the only people in the United States of America that did free labor for 246 years. So I want you all to let that sink in. Black people are the only people who did free labor for 246 years in the United States.
Did Joe Petty just thank him for the free labor?
Let that
He
sink
did,
in.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work you
Yeah, the
did.
next speaker is Johanna Hampton Dance. I'm going to mute Johanna now.
Hey, hell yeah,
Good
Johanna.
evening. Thank you for letting me speak. Johanna Hampton Dance, Worcester, Mass. I'm calling in to support a few items. First, 9O to 9U. I do feel that the ARPA funds need to have a dashboard.
Yenny, the company that makes
aware
Bearcats,
of
the tank of
what's
choice
in
for
and
municipal
the
police departments,
expenditures
they're
on what's
located in
going out.
Pittsfield, Mass. So really, Worcester was
As
just trying to
far
keep
as I know, there's
the
already been some
local economy
expenditures
healthy.
and the public doesn't know.
Right.
And I think they need to be aware of that. Also, the BIPOC community does need to be prioritized and put first, especially with small business owners. We do have BIPOC business owners in our city, and I have been in touch with a few of them, and their businesses are struggling because they missed out on those first rounds of assistance. And so, just in speaking with people in the need, and trying to direct them to the city site and sending them links for applications and things like that, the need is definitely there. Transparency and oversight is definitely needed. We need to know where the money's going and how it's being spent. And somebody outside of a third party needs to come in and make sure that it's going in the right direction. I want to also support item 11B and for Councilor King in the Black History Trail, and 21A. And just commend everyone for doing such a great job. This This evening's agenda had many, many important items on it from various counselors, which I appreciate, and it shows that you
Can you
guys are
call
doing
in and
the
ask
work.
Nico what that mouth do?
And we're going to move forward, and I appreciate it. And that's all I had to say.
Not related to the agenda, but it's directed at the city clerk.
So
What's that mouth do?
Judy Damonstone. I'm gonna try to mute Judy now.
Through the chair. What that mouth
I
do?
posted
Yes, I have nothing prepared for tonight. I'm following the conversations around the ARPA funding, the climate plans.
Through the chair.
and,
Nico, you up?
Some racial equity oversight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Lissy Velez. I'm going to try and mute Lissy now. Lissy, you are muted. Okay, not hearing from Lissy. We're going to move on to Mary Alice. I'm going to mute Mary Alice now.
Hi there. I'm just listening in also. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Matt.
I think it's
Vieira.
high
I'm trying to mute Matt now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, not hearing from Matt. The next
Give me
speaker is
Gary
Matt
Rose.
Woodlock. I'm going to try and mute Matt now.
Hello, Matt Whitlock, Worcester. I'm commenting on item 21A. To keep it brief, I'll just be talking about the item on a process for social workers or licensed specialists to respond to mental health incidents. I'm looking at this report and it says the item is in progress with no timeline. To me, that says the item is stalled and it's not a priority, but I urge the council, mayors, city manager to treat this item as a priority. While we're taking our time on this, each person experiencing a crisis stands to not get the help they need when they need it the most. I'm happy to see that the item has not been assigned to the police department. It needs to be a separate response process. It needs to be a separate budget item, and the responders should not be accompanied by police officers. So it's a good item, but I'd like to see more movement on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker is Michael Morrissey. Mute
He
Michael
already
now.
spoke.
We already had this guy.
Already spoke.
Nico, you're pretty, but you're dumb.
Next speaker is Sheila
Nico
Brenner.
is too distracted by us fawning over him.
Hi, my name is Sheila Brenner. I live in Worcester. I'm calling about agenda item 21A, specifically about the creation of a process where social outreach workers.
I know
Nico abuses the power by getting married and then divorced every day.
Incidents in the city. I'm wondering if the city manager could give more information on whether the necessary funds have been allocated and what the status of the progress being made on this very important initiative is.
That would be
I'd
a
also
no.
like
But
to
thank you for
express my
asking.
support for agenda items 9O through 9U.
Can we set up a rule that if you get called on twice, you could tell them to go fuck themselves?
Around the use of ARPA funds. These items.
Yeah,
will
not
You can do it the first time.
best efforts to aid the communities hit hardest by the pandemic in Worcester. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker is Sue. I'm going to try and mute Sue
Next
now.
item. This guy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sue Mailman from Worcester, and I'm
Hi,
calling
Sue.
on
Hey.
ask these ARPA funds and how we
Sue
spend them
Mail
and making
Carrier.
sure that we're having requirements for MWBE companies and
last name
consistently
is
doing this,
sexist.
like with all of the public funding that we have. I've worked over 35 years, and our company has in many different cities and towns. And these rules, these structures help. We have a building pathway program in Worcester. We're trying to bring in apprentices. If the companies that were investing in these programs knew that there was additional work that would come because we're doing apprenticeship programs, it matters, and all of it ties together. And I hope
He loves
you will
divorcees.
put these requirements in for the jobs for the company.
Farmers only.
Local hiring. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker is Vincent Andrew. I'm going to mute Vincent now.
Did you have it up because you were?
There's like a lot of that go on in City Hall.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, yeah, really?
Mute Yenny now.
Hi, I'm Yenny. I am
Yenny.
in Newton Square. I've got
Hi, I'm Yenny. Go
on
fuck
10A,
yourself.
C, and
Go
D.
tell them to fuck themselves, Jenny.
With 10A, thank
Tell
you
them
for
to fuck
bringing up the
themselves.
snow piles. They regularly block the corners in my neighborhood, and it makes it very difficult, especially for the elderly people, to clear those corners. To
And when
make
you're out
them
walking all
ADA
15 of your
accessible
illegal
width-wise,
dogs.
the piles get very compacted, and it makes it very difficult to get even a snowblower through them. The other issue that comes along with this is the other corners on my intersection have things at the corner so that the plows can't push into the yard, but my yard does not have anything blocking them from doing so. And every winter, at least 1 or 2 times, I have plows pushing the snow pile so far into my yard that I have tire tracks on my yard from it sometimes. And that is completely unacceptable. We take care of our yard as well as we can, and having the mess from the street come in
She
every
needs a
year
place
onto
for her
that corner
15
makes it
dogs
very
to go to
difficult.
bathroom.
Regarding 10C, I've seen Newton Square come up as an issue many times with the city council and various meetings in the city, just discussions in general about how unsafe it is. And as far as I'm aware, there hasn't really been much, if anything, done to actually improve the safety of this intersection. It is right next to one of our high schools. It is a major park in the neighborhood, so please, please do something to address this. One thing that attached to rotaries in general in the city is a lot of people will stop in the middle of the rotary to let somebody in. We need to have signs telling people that vehicles in the rotary have right of way to educate the public on it, so that we don't have those stops in the middle causing unexpected braking.
Dude, it's crazy how people don't get it.
18-wheelers need to go through a city. I get that, but
because it's
people on
really
Pleasant
poorly
Street at
designed
the Newton
rotary.
Square Neighborhood Association meetings
on the people,
constantly
too.
talk about the damage that 18-wheelers are doing to their houses with cracked foundations, broken windows, and more. So I really hope to see that addressed. Thank you.
No, it's because you've killed a lot of them, Mo Bergman.
God, Jenny, you didn't do it.
Yenny, why didn't you tell them to go fuck themselves, Yenny?
Come on, Yenny. You would have guaranteed yourself like
for addressing the issues quickly of recent
800 more votes in the next election.
Concerns that
Oh, he's there for the sewage.
Is a public nuisance, not only in smell.
Why
but
didn't
also
he?
in visual
Oh,
sight.
because he's
I
a
understand
petitioner.
That there have been fixes in place. The emergency pumps have been put in place. The piping in the front is a visual nuisance to everybody. It's probably going to degrade property values. It looks terrible. It's not a thriving, vibrant city that we're trying to build here in Worcester.
And it's not working if it's just dumping a random 5 million gallons of sewage
Yeah.
into the lake.
Hey, Mo Bergman, did you get like washed out into Lake Quincy at some point last week?
That we could have 2 engineering consultants review this.
He calls it having a bath.
There's also engineering consultants who are reviewing the odor problem. Again, I would like to say we would get 2 of those. The odor, again, is horrendous in the summer. You can't open your windows unless you want your whole house enclosed and everything smelling like sewage for days.
Mo?
It needs to be addressed. We continue to issue permits to have new buildings built. I'm in full support of that, but I'd like to address the other issues down the stream from that. I'd also like to make the consultants aware that we should have a failure modes and effects analysis done, which is going to allow us to really evaluate if they are addressing if something is going to happen in the event of a failure next time. And I'd like that publicly available. Thank you.
Thank you for coming down too. Thank you.
Oh, you should have stormed out, bro.
Mr. Clerk? Okay, so go back.
What was that guy's name?
I didn't catch it.
Poop Man.
The Poop Man comes.
Dr. Poop.
Dr. Poop.
Motion is to open the hearing regarding condo location on Hawthorne Street, Exchange Street, Lewis Street. Roll call.
Oh, Yenny, we kicked you out for not saying go fuck yourself.
Yes. Councilor King.
Yes.
Councilor Merrick Carlson.
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen.
But good call.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera.
Yes.
Councilor Rose.
Yes.
This is the solutions I'm talking about, Pierre. Reasonable solutions.
Yes. Next is
We could use that statue to clog the leak.
The motion is to close the hearing and to adopt on the roll call. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman.
Yes.
Councilor Caloria.
Yes.
Councilor GA.
Yes.
Hey, is this the first meeting that we've had in person since the inauguration?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
We haven't talked
Yes.
seating layout, everybody.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes.
What do we got
Look
here?
at this.
Petitions 8A to 8B. We're going for the public works.
My whole world is torn apart right now. Look at this. Mo Bergman, I gotta watch the side of his fucking head.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Refer to the manager.
I've been noticing it tell right there and prominently in the shot.
Yeah.
Sean, she got stuck next to Candy.
Yes. Counselor GI?
Yes.
Where's two?
Counselor King?
Yes.
Counselor
Home.
Carlson?
Yes.
Oh,
Counselor Yan?
Right there.
Yes.
Counselor
where's
Rivera?
two seat though?
Yes.
Counselor Rose?
It looks like it's next to
Counselor
Kate.
Russell?
Oh yeah.
Counselor Toomey?
Yes.
Or and then Sarai is
Chairman's orders 9
between Donna and
Y.
Patel.
Motion is to adopt.
Yeah, it would seem that way.
Roll call.
Counselor Bergman?
Yeah, the back rolls are
Counselor GI?
Yes.
there.
King?
Yes.
Counselor
How do they assign their seats? Do they just
Yan?
open the door quickly and I'll run in and grab
Yes.
whatever's
I'm
whatever
actually
they
not
need to
sure. I
hand?
think
Yes.
that's a mayor's
Yes.
decision.
Counselor Toomey?
Yes.
But I'm not
So
sure.
he's
Yes.
probably somehow being catty about it.
Yeah.
They let the
Moving
rats
Mo-
pick.
Moving Mo as close to the door as possible.
Because of the smell.
Communication team manager transmitting information communication over the
Oh,
update.
Mo, you
of
smell like
executive
Lakewood
order
Sig.
addressing assess institutional and structural racism. That was held by Council King. You can send that to MO.
Nobody get the special from Regatta this week.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Certainly want to appreciate this item that was
They
brought
do their
before
best.
us. I want to thank the city manager for the initiative here and making sure we get some feedback relative to the order that was requested.
I'm
I'd
not
also
ready. I'm
like
not
to take
prepared
the
to bring up my
opportunity,
Alyssa Edwards impression on this
to
stream.
thank,
We're
the
working
prior
on it.
constellation of this council and this council in supporting addressing structural and institutional.
We don't talk about that meme anymore.
Here in the city of Worcester. I know that just kind of listening to some of the callers who called in, I would like to go on the record just regarding the Civilian Review Board once again. I've reiterated this over the years. I really think there needs to be a people's process as it relates to oversight here in the city of Worcester. As mentioned, there's other municipalities of similar scale and larger.
Fascinated to hear the discussion about this. I know how it's going to go, but I want to hear what people's reasons are.
Poorly. Which is going to go
ask the
poorly.
city manager,
Yes, for sure.
For some action on a prior report that was requested and approved by this body on evidence-based research pertaining to civilian review boards, what works, what doesn't work, where it's been successful, where it's been less successful.
Ecstasy.
Things of that nature. As it relates to an update, I look forward to this coming to committee. I'm not going to try to get into too much here, but I know there were some questions with regards to the social worker response, alternative response.
Have a good night.
I've certainly been pushing for a couple of years now, and I know that there is
I need to get my
some
system
challenges there.
so that
As I brought
I
forward,
don't have to lean forward on my couch.
City of Boston.
Oh yeah.
I think close to a year ago now.
Wearing them
extended.
I think this is it.
Hire 15 more.
What if we
workers who respond to 911?
Bill, what if we get the computer up on that arm and then you can just pull it in towards you while you're laying down?
Hoping that perhaps the manager or the administration can explain where the barriers are in this process. I know some of the folks that spoke on it, and I
love your tapestry, Bill.
Respond to that. If you
This
could
is
share,
new.
and also
fucking rules.
If there's been any
Chelsea Zona on Instagram. She's a great artist.
Brought forward a number
Hell
of
yeah.
times, looking at some of the
Came in a
local
couple days ago.
police departments surrounding Central Mass and the Metro West, Framingham, who does this sort of thing.
It's got
in
strong
Boston. And I
D&D
know
/
that in Framingham
Phantasm
it's a
vibes.
private sector.
Yeah, for sure.
agency, and in Boston it's through the hospital. So I'm just wondering if we've looked at that, and also in Boston, do we have or have we begun the outreach to our folks at UMass, St. V's, or where have you, regarding this, given it perhaps we're jammed up a little bit through the chair.
Through you, Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
I recommended $1 million in last year's budget, which this council supported, to fund this initiative. And I asked Dr. Castile and the Mayor's Mental Health Task Force to take the lead. They have been working on looking at resources in the community that might be available to provide this kind of service. We put out an RFP, and we got a couple of respondents back, but none of whom met the requirements of Dr. Castile and the Mayor's Mental Health Task Force that reviewed those. And so the decision has been made to go back out and maybe retool that program. And we've, in the interim, convened some of the organizations that
Let's get his fingers
alone
crossed
don't
behind his
seem to
back.
have the capacity to do this, and seeing if we can get a consortium of organizations to work together and
Yeah,
create
he's a big old boy.
a joint entity that might be able to provide us the kind of services that we're looking for. So we've budgeted the money, we've made the commitment, we've gone out, we didn't get what we want. And so instead of settling, we're working with organizations to see if we
True.
can craft a response to a future RFP that would give us the kind of response that the Mayor's Mental Health Task Force.
Managers only.
Council?
He got an invite.
Also looking for an
when
update
Robert
on
Patrick was in
the
town.
audits,
When
and
they got him on
also,
Raya.
I know this is going to like to make a motion that any new timelines be sent, a report back. Well, that's some of these things are in process, and perhaps.
God damn.
But with respect to the
Got to run
equity
upstairs
audit,
and high five
I know
Jess.
it says here we were supposed to be starting with Worcester Police Department.
Christian makes a good point here about timelines and any of the stuff happening, and having that be publicly stated, because I mean, it's all going to move so slow, and it's really most of it is empty gestures that they might as well not even do it.
Well, and that's just it too, right? I mean, you're already seeing that start to spin in a lot of major cities that are seeing upticks in crime, where resources are getting redirected to police departments in the exact way only 2 years ago they were being discussed about clawing them back.
Right. Yeah. It's
police department. So all three.
It's not great.
It is not great, in fact.
In fact, yeah.
It's also like not true. Like I've been reading like this, like it's not really true that there's an uptick in
it's
violent crime. It was just like compared to the summer of 2020.
It's true insofar as it's a bipartisan consensus. But it's not true on the ground. And honestly, shame on the Democratic Party for what they did to the defund movement. They did that so dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
we're working on collecting documentation from all.
What are you gonna do?
You know what we could do, which I think would be great, that up in the school committee, they're currently discussing a grant from the Department of Justice to run that STOP program, school violence stuff, where they do the active shooting drills.
Oh yeah.
That should be a requirement for city councilors. Like unannounced, you have a staged SWAT team raid on your house, like 2 o'clock in the morning, no knock, and yeah, just so you at least know what the residents are dealing with, and then that's what you base your future opinions on law enforcement on.
It's a really great idea.
I'm not suggesting anyone SWAT the members of
No,
the
I
city
think
council,
I actually do.
but
I agree. We should rendition every city councilor for 1 month, and then they can decide how they want to proceed from there.
Thank you. Moving on to removing the school resource officers. I know the question of an MOU was brought up, and I know that during the process, the group that was working on this was asking about the MOU, and I know that Assistant City Manager Batista was working on that. Just like to get an update on where we're at with a memorandum of understanding. And if there's something in play, if we could get a draft of that, perhaps for executive session, so that we can look at it. If it's completed, the motion would be for us to have access through the
want to
chair.
get an update? Mr. Batista, you're well into your second 5 minutes.
Through the chair. Currently, the MOU is being drafted by the police department in the
Eric
schools.
Batista very upset with all the Nico
Doing
horniness.
MOU.
And we'd like to remind you that he is actually the most eligible bachelor in City Hall.
Statewide that was done, and then there was also one done by the Attorney General's office. Both templates are being considered as part of the development of that MOU. One of the things that was talked about and included in that plan is that we would bring that.
Yeah, if you
back
meet up
to
with
the task force
Nico
for
or
feedback input
anybody else for a date, make sure you bring your craft tea kombucha. It's I think scientifically proven to be an aphrodisiac.
Was when there's a task force.
Right.
being
Yeah,
reconvened,
it certainly
it
is for
sounds
me.
like soon.
The last time that I was on a
There's
date with
a
Nico,
lot of work,
I had a
that
bottle,
was
and
done in that regard.
things got pretty crazy towards the end, and I
I
feel like I'm at liberty to discuss what happened in his office at City Hall.
It was. I mean, you FaceTime me and Brendan, and it was nuts.
Yeah, it was pretty steamy, and I don't think we would have gotten there with a craft tea kombucha.
timelines. I know that during the budget process, I was intentional about asking each departmental head what they were doing in terms of diversity recruitment. What they
Yes,
were
he
doing
does.
in terms of succession planning.
And I just violated mine, so
what
don't
their
tell him.
overall strategies were. I know that that's mentioned in here to a degree, and if we could just get a quick update on where we are as far as the city through the chair in regards to that.
Mr. Manager.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the Chief Diversity Officer.
Joanna
in my
Hampton
office
Dance just
will
asked me
work
for the
with
link
each
to
of
the
the
stream on
departments
on the Facebook stream.
Oh hell yeah! Let's get some people in here.
Joanna,
get some new
Joanna,
blood.
come in here. If you come in here, we love you.
Thank you.
We
Joanna.
promise to do every single thing we can to help you defeat Candy in the next election. I promise you. I promise you.
Looking at
We
numbers
will help
as well
you.
to see if we're making
We will help
any
you
sort
win.
of
We will destroy
progress,
her.
We are gonna
as well.
turn Candy from looking like sadness from inside out to feeling like sadness.
Feeling like it.
Holistically.
Yeah,
You know,
thanks,
one of the
Yanni.
mentions on the calls was about
Yeah, nothing
broadband
so far, huh?
access. I know that we have committees that are looking at that. You know, and I think that, you know, the way I see this is there's a lot that's changed since George Floyd was murdered in all different walks of life. I'm wrapping up, Mr. Chairman. In all different walks of life, in all different entities, institutions, states in the country and in other countries. His death has had.
Man, Monsters Inc. is a good movie.
And in Black
We don't
History,
talk
Month,
about
I
that.
had an opportunity to kind of look at these documents.
Mike
And I wanted to say that it's
Wazowski.
not lost on me. That one of the recommendations.
It's a pretty good
that
impression.
The community
Thanks.
made, Black Families Together specifically, was to elevate the position.
Yeah, Travis got you.
To elevate the position. Of
Yeah,
our
I
chief
can't wait. We
diversity
got a
officer,
doozy when the next time somebody says the
which
word ARPA.
diversified our cabinet. That being in the appointment of Stephanie A. Williams, a member of Worcester's
Christian's
own
making a
Black
great point here on
community, and
timelines
also,
too. I mean, just look at the last couple weeks in the
does not
the rush that has been
it
underway
also is
for
important to
demasking the
recognize that
city.
on this document. in
And here we've
addition
been
to
having a
Stephanie
2-year
Williams, we had
conversation
Batista, the
about
first
equity-based
Latino
solutions
assistant
to
city manager. So
law
I think we're
enforcement
moving
oversight in
right
the city.
direction. We as a
Yeah,
council,
right,
and I'm
right.
looking forward to my
with
committee,
literally nothing being done.
really
Yeah, very,
providing
very
some
little
direction
being
to
done.
the
I mean,
board of
David
guidance
Fort, when he
on
was
all of
totally
this.
right
So,
to spend his
thank you.
entire 2 minutes talking about civilian review board with subpoena power, because that's really the only thing that would have
Mr. Chairman.
advanced the issue in Worcester, and all the rest of this is pretty lackluster.
George Floyd was murdered. It caused us to all kind of reflect on our practices and.
Well, and you know, I think that's what Bill Coleman was getting at a bit too. Was we've done most of this in the past, right? Like from the 60s through the 70s, the city of Worcester did adopt a lot of the recommendations that came out of the Kerner Commission report from the Johnson administration, which very similar to the conversation that's taking place today, demilitarizing police departments and giving more authority to intermediaries that'd be better at responding to nonviolent issues.
Right, and we had Bill Coleman brought it up. We had it for a couple of years.
We had it for a bunch of years. Yeah.
police officers.
Managers as well.
And it was the
That's
same
more-
story back then.
They're
The
online,
reason we
set them
did
up,
get
pay
them
them,
was at the time there was a breakdown in union representation for law enforcement in the state, so there was really nobody to fight it. And when they went away, it was specifically because the unions didn't want them there anymore. They felt that they were moving in on their territory.
Right. Questions that a number of us asked in our budget meetings and department meetings, and I certainly look forward to being part of the solution to eradicate and eliminate racism in our city. And like I said, I'm just eager to continue to challenge ourselves.
I actually am looking forward to that
whether
too,
be through
to being
initiatives
part
and
of the
policy
solution.
practice or internal or external reflection.
By
Mr. Chairman.
destroying Candy Merrill Carlson's political career.
Putting this together and
Oh, check it out, guys. We can buy followers, primes, and viewers if we click that link.
Oh shit!
Hey, where's
Whoa?
Jack?
Does he know? Does he know Baby Man? Does Muslim Man know Baby Man?
First, I want to say,
You're in here.
Is Jack in here?
seeing this report,
PR poison tester. Click that
and
link.
being able to have this discussion on the floor is very.
This is a new
significant,
setting
very
for
emotional
Sarai.
for
Do we know
me.
where she is?
This must be
Since
her
I
office, right?
came into council now 10 years ago, it doesn't seem it's surreal. I know having this conversation was difficult, and a lot of times when these conversations were brought up on the need for these changes, not just myself, but other people in community.
Well, that's a big one. I'm not going to leave that up on screen. Everybody read that comment on the side. Oh, Cipro.
That their voices were heard and they were part of the decision-making team.
Wow.
And
Dude,
all
Rick
the time,
Cipro
we were just accused as race baiting and,
They're
everything's
taking our
about
noobs.
race and everything is, it's just being
Not for one.
negative and traditional and history.
Our kitchen. Yeah, all right, that's cool.
Us, right?
No,
And
no
when
fossils
George
in the
Floyd
kitchen.
happened,
No fossils.
As
Hey Ben,
heartbreaking as
understatement
that
much?
it was not a shock to many of us in communities of color.
Yeah, this is the same reason I avoid Boskies, is so I don't have to hear anything that Rick Cipro says.
The only council stream where we would be actually pretty stoked if Rick Cipro was in here.
Oh, please come on here, Rick.
Someone try to get Rick Cipro on the stream so we can bully him.
Together with elected and appointed leaders to actually
Timing being everything, I don't know that this is the week you want to bring up water safety equipment after 5.7 million gallons of Kate Toomey shit get dumped into Lake Michigan.
We got to get out of
It was 5 billion gallons of shit, and one of those gallons was exclusively Kate Toomey's.
this multiple times. We can't fix
She
what we're
shits
not willing to
17
identify.
times
And
a
understand that is broken,
Volumes that
hurting,
are
that is
otherworldly.
hurtful to our community.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I actually I didn't feel great today. I felt like 5 billion gallons of
That's
shit
why
in a
it's so
5-pound
important to
bag.
understand. And this document is so significant because it isn't just nice words of, oh, we need to talk about diversity and equity.
What are you talking about, Sarah? That's exactly what it is.
really moves things. It really shows things that are completed. It shows things that are in progress. That's important. This word seems progress
Oh
because
my
it says
God.
that we're still
Mo
moving,
Bergman,
still
this is
working
for you.
on, but we're willing to do the work and we're willing to progress. And I really want to commend everyone, community, elected officials, appointed officials.
Joe Petty.
To the chair. I know this has not been easy. I know that it's been really challenging, but that you as
Yeah, Sarai
heading the staff and all the
become
departments within the
points that
city,
she wants to make and not just
assuming that challenge,
say
not running
whatever,
from that challenge and doing what needed to be done means a lot, right? It means a lot.
You know what? I thought people are
the
three-eyed
diversity
fish there.
officer for
It'll all be
also
worth it.
taking on this challenge. I know
Oh, I can't wait to catch a
the
blinky.
burdens on her shoulders are heavy, and no one knows her walk except her and herself that are walking.
I do like that Sarai and two color coordinated tonight.
On with love and care, and the brief times that we've had conversations, I can really appreciate her dedication to press forward. So It's a really I
Yeah, so
think
I
for
basically
many
just
people who've been working
freestyle,
on racial
like
equity
free
for so long,
jazz,
and
acid
racial
jazz,
justice and
intellectual
anti-racism
face.
work can look at this today and have a little bit of a
very,
relief that the tears and the criticism and everything that
She's
we went
not.
through is
She's
definitely
not angling for any sort of
that's
emotions.
one. And I think
Or trying to
we
convince
never
anybody of
quit, right?
anything.
We fall down, we break
She's
it
just
down,
talking
we
about
No,
it's
try
good.
to work our teams and keep it moving.
She's basically saying it's all
That
gravy,
being
baby.
said,
It's all good.
really
It's great. It's
wanted
great we're
to
doing
just
this.
really excited about the cadet
Like she's hoping
program
to
and know
like
that
it
this
feels
is
like she's
really
hoping to
gonna
pop
be
a
a
quote, but
really
I don't know if she
important
realizes
aspect
that
to really look
like
at
the Telegram is not
diversifying,
going to
and I'm
cover
super
this
excited
meeting.
about that.
Yeah.
And the SROs, I mean, for a long time, many of us have been saying, and let's call it what it is, police in school. I trust that there's an issue. I trust that our police department is going to address the issue, whether it's at
What?
school, whether it's at a block, whether it's at a corner, whether it's at a store. They will respond efficiently.
Sorry,
We've
what the
seen
fuck
that
are you
happen,
talking
and I
about?
know that we have faith that that will happen. And we're
Ah.
going to continue to build resources in the police department that need to be built, and then resources within
This is
community
like,
and schools
it's
that
like
need
preaching
to
to a choir that doesn't exist,
so I'm
right?
really, I know that has not been easy. It wasn't
There's
without
no
a
audience.
challenge, but thank you for accepting the challenge and getting this moving for all of those. And in my last, I will finish by saying that
I don't feel like those glasses are
there's
the
a
right
lot of
silhouette for
conversation
her
about having a
face.
civilian review board. And many years ago, when this first came out, I think probably at the
I don't
beginning
hate
of
him.
my time, I wasn't for it. And the reason I wasn't for it because I was concerned that it wouldn't be an equitable review board. Oftentimes, at that time,
Yeah, there's good people working
people
there,
were
but
really honest and blunt that people were often
they're not
picked
the problem.
who can sit on what board, who were
Yes.
chosen, and
Media.
I was concerned
Gatehouse
that
Connect, all that same shit. Some guy in a yacht deciding how many
that
journalists need to get
would
by second.
something that was really reflective of our community. I think with this document, and I think the work that we're doing now, I think it's taking us to that. And to be honest, I understand that there is a division of investigation, but I understand also, and I know this personally, I know this from
Do
stories
not
that I
shit
know personally,
the
that
cops this hard. It's an unforced fucking error.
that things happen, that they're left in the air, and people that are affected by what's happened are not being notified, are not being talked to, are not being, there's no conversation, there's no follow-up. That's problematic, because then that begins, that now this begins to create a division again in a situation where we're trying to bring healing. This isn't about individualism. This isn't anti-police at all. This is anti-systems, whether it be police. Our healthcare system has failed us, and we've been talking about that even more during COVID. Our educational system.
I have a lot of respect for streaming with zero props.
And this is
Yeah.
why this
It's the exact same corner every week. No props.
Killing it.
Yeah, but you could see out their window, and that's like doxing them a little bit.
Mr. Chairman, and I apologize, but this
She's
is
a
such
city
a
councilor. She's
significant,
already
this
doxed.
is such a significant day, I think, for
Oh,
us,
the
for
Holden
our
Police
city,
Department
and for
thing.
me personally. And I would really,
So good.
really encourage, and I
That was crazy.
want to
See
say
that?
that that
The,
we really need to consider moving forward. And I was
Valentine's
really
post
difficult
where they're
to
just
move
like
forward
snitch on
review board where there is some sort of better transparency.
Bill, your
where
audio's
a
cutting out a
situation
little
that
bit.
happens, that
Is there a
people
way
are
to
not
move the mic
felt
a little
with,
closer to
felt
you, or
right,
is that
that's
not
being just shoved
possible?
and put somewhere and never land and not being discussed, no follow
I don't know
through.
if it's
And so
the mic's
again,
problem.
how are we going to heal? How are we going to learn? And how are we going to grow? So I would say that I really want to encourage that.
It could just
continue
be
to push
your
that
connection,
forward.
maybe.
But I want
But
to say thank you.
I'm
thank
turned
you
up
for the
now.
progress that we're
Is it
moving.
different?
Let's keep with
It sounds a little
progress.
better.
Let's not shy away from hard conversations.
Probably my
because
connection.
it is these hard conversations that are going to take
On
us
my
to
interface, I'm
heal,
reading
to
like
move forward,
pretty
to
high.
make us an even better city, and to really, to really grow and do some really great things.
We're growing, baby.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
Wow. All right.
Ms. Williams for putting this report together. I want to thank the manager and his team and Eric Batista and the city manager's staff and working with the community, working with the black families together, and they took several months to put together, and working with the chief, and I think they send this to committee for further discussion. And
I agree with this.
Council.
Do a TikTok.
Yeah. Well, I haven't washed my hair in about 5 days.
Okay.
And I haven't brushed it either.
It's spot on though. Last 2 weeks you've been having great hair days.
Oh, wow. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. It's because you can't really see how greasy it is through the webcam, so it just looks full and not gross.
We're not going to agree on everything.
Hey, whatever you're doing, honey, keep doing it.
We're sitting at a table, talking at length and being able to come to solutions.
It's called getting ready with.
Regarding the Civilian Review Board,
I wake up and go immediately out the door, throwing on whatever clothes I touch first. Yeah, great.
What was that last word? Getting ready with what?
Some changes, and I know
Bill.
that certainly
Oh.
the goal of the chief and the administration and the city council to ensure that there is transparency. None of us want to see anything that's negative. So I think that working
So we hide
together,
it,
we can
so nobody
come
has
up
to
with
see it.
solutions. But again, my gratitude.
So we take
to,
the
my
Telegram and Gazette to court for 3.5 years.
here, the mayor, the manager, and the
Kate
department
Toomey
head.
is such a fucking shill for the police department. It's unreal.
It's crazy.
Oh, we have two? I'm sorry. Councilor Nguyen. I'm sorry. I didn't see you there.
No worries. I'll just be brief. I am grateful that as we're approaching the 1 year of the murder of George Floyd, that we are continuing to do this work. And I think the people on the ground who really also push for this to be at our table. I think, it's important that this work is ongoing as on the council and the city of Worcester to commit to racial justice. I also echo a lot of our constituents, which, really talked about having more details.
Is it just 1 year?
On this report that really captures the work that we've been doing, as well as a transparent, clear.
Has it
feels like
holy shit?
What we're doing in
it's only been 1 year since the George Floyd murder. It feels like 10.
2.
Yeah. Okay. He was. Yeah.
2020. It was 2020.
Yeah. You just said that wrong. Yeah. It's 2 years. It's 2 years.
Reflect community in the workplace, and each department will
It's 2 years.
incorporate, and it just keeps going. And under the complete, it says acquireddiversityjobs.com. So I think for me, one of
That
the
was
things
2020. That was in
what does it
pandemic
mean to be
chapter 1.
complete? Are we complete in the sense of our
We're in chapter
constituents
like
and our
8 or 9 now.
are they satisfied with our goals and outcomes? And I think we should lay those out, and that we should be in constant and consistent conversation with folks on the ground to
Yeah.
ensure that folks are most.
That was season 1 of the pandemic, and that was called "There Might Still Be Hope."
Right. We want to
Now we're in like season 3, and it's called "All Hope Is Lost."
to honor our Black communities and to meet their needs.
Oh yeah, last it right. Okay, yeah.
Healing justice, as Councilor Rivera mentioned. And so I'm really excited to see this go to committee and having more conversations about this.
Thank you. Okay, we'll send that to municipal operator. You got about 50 seconds, Councilor.
Really interesting.
Make sure that my order regarding the
But not
details,
shocking.
No, not surprising.
includes, anything measurable or what
Beyond
what's gonna be-
like
What the hell is
the election and all that,
see how effective we're working.
I'm
and also
pretty impressed so far to see
that stated that,
how two is
these things have been
handling
completed
all of the
and
bullshit
realized.
that's coming their way
They
since
realized
the election.
recommendations.
Yeah, right, right.
As was mentioned, we have a understanding and a
And that's not,
definition of what that
to
actually means. I think
make,
Mr. Bishop, in my last comment,
like
just
as a way
stated
of dismissing it at all, but
Civilian Review
it's
Board,
not acceptable. It shouldn't be happening. But
oversight, transparency. We've heard tonight from my
no,
colleagues,
like
heard it from everyone,
no, this is the first person that's had to deal with this,
that are
and that's
designated
pretty
by the
incredible to
local
think about
branch
how
begin to
like
do exactly that. We've heard a lot of concerns in the
Yeah,
last
I don't.
in the media recently.
They've been
And we
steadfast.
need to make
They've
sure,
just
that
stuck to the
they're
work,
doing
and it's
our
really
part.
admirable. They're a leader, and it's really cool to have them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Person of Municipal Operations. Roll call.
Council Bergman,
Yes.
Council Calorio,
Yes.
Council GA,
Yes.
Council King,
Yes.
Council Member Carlson,
Yes.
Council Nguyen,
Yes.
Council Rivera,
Yes.
Council Rose,
Yes.
Council Russell,
Yes.
Council Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes. We're going to go to 15A.
Did we find out if this was a direct, connection, the in-person meeting, to them getting fuck you'd last week?
Pumping station failure. Thank you for the detailed report.
I'm not sure.
George Russell made a big stink about it, how you have to come up and face us in person.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Say it to my face,
they,
bro.
You know, you actually don't, because you guys adopted Jenny's motion to.
That took place down at the lake, unfortunately, is not the first time. Although this incident was pretty significant. I'd like to, though, preference my comments by saying to
Yeah,
the
you know, and
administration
to me, it's not even just the accidental misgendering and stuff like that. Like that is has to be taxing, but it's more the like. There seems to be more ignorance, malignant ignorance since the election than during it or before it. So I'm just, you know, that's more the stuff I'm referring to.
The question really is for many of the people who live down at the lake.
Malignant Ignorance is a great band name.
I saw them at the River Rave in 2002.
And I think we can read in this report that it says to us that back in 2015, there was $10 million that was spent on this pumping station. We know that this pumping station really is in the vicinity.
Pumping Station is a pretty good band name too.
You know, the question was asked tonight, why is that?
Yeah, I'm going down to the pumping station tonight.
It's a great name for Bergman's working.
That's a great name for a gay bar.
Question is,
oh yeah. I was taking it literally. Yes.
It's the speakeasy above it, Sweaty Betty's.
Oh, Sweaty Betty should have a speakeasy. That's fun.
To have a report. Why was that pumping station put there down at the lake? Many years
station.
ago. Again, we know in this.
Fun fact, that lake has always been home to Worcester's garbage. Before where UMass is now, that used to be the city's municipal piggery. That's where we threw all our garbage and had pigs eat it. And then the pigs were used to feed the folks who were institutionalized at the old Worcester State Hospital. And I'm not making any of that up. You can actually go down to the Worcester Historical Museum and find photos of the Worcester piggery.
It's called a piggery?
It's actually called a piggery. Yeah, that's
a good name for a club too.
Piggery.
Myself and the commissioner. This is not the end.
The piggery make me loco.
And one of the real serious questions that I had was, well, we got to back.
We've been doing shit so funny in this city for so many years.
Oh man, I got oinked at the piggery.
It's a piggery.
But I mean, it's wild when you think of it in the context of like what Candy's saying now. How did this pumping station get here? Well, the pumping station probably doesn't smell as bad as a couple thousand pigs that are only job is to eat all of Worcester's garbage. Like that was an improvement at one point in time.
Yeah.
I ate at the piggery, and now all I have is mercury poison.
Is dumping into the lake. The other questions that I have,
oh boy,
I would ask for the
piggery
commissioner to come up, Mr. Chairman, through you.
My name's Candy Merrill Carlson, and I think that we should bring back the piggery.
Into the ecological system, and maybe he would like Jackie to answer those questions. I'm not going to.
It'd be a nice
8,000.
place to visit.
But those are the questions.
It was
that,
8,000 pigs that we had. I'm sorry, it
folks
wasn't
down at
1,000.
the lake and
Damn.
folks who
That's
have
crazy.
recreation down on Lake Quinsigamon. Those are all the answers that people are looking for.
Now they all work for
And-
National
and
Grid.
the
That's
follow-up
insane.
answers to that
Come on
is,
down to the piggery. You are
first
what you
things I
eat.
should say is, what are we going to do going
You're all
forward?
fat.
How is this going to be fixed? We know that we, brought
There you
in
go.
heat pumps, which is
There it
great
is.
because we don't have any more raw
Thank you,
storage
Brendan.
going into
Oh, my
the
pleasure.
lake. But what our answer to
Sounds like
this,
Candy Merrill Carlson's been
because
talking for like 6
given the
years.
fact that this has happened, at least during my time on council, this has happened 3 times.
Down at the
What
pumping
is it that we're
station.
gonna do differently this time so that this doesn't
Whose
happen
idea was
again?
it to
And,
put it right next to
um,
a recreational
we
lake?
could have, through the chair, have the commissioners come
I can't do that voice.
answer some of these
Tickles my
questions.
chest.
That would be terrific.
Mr. Commissioner, so you have 3 questions. Why was the pumping station there? What do we think is the current ramification?
Poor guy
But
got
I
here
wanna
a
hear
year ago,
why-
and now he has to answer that question.
And through you, Chair, to the counselor, there were 3 questions that were asked, but there were probably 100 other questions.
Never
that we
trust a
didn't-
man
and
who
I don't
keeps a pig farm.
profess to know the answers. I did bring some folks with me this evening, and there are some folks lined up to speak to some of those issues. With regards to why is the pump station there, I didn't put it there. It is there. Typically, in a wastewater system,
I'm not asking
from
you
an
to answer
engineering
for
point
it.
of view,
I'm asking you to explain it,
the
you
goal
fuck.
is
This guy owns the pumping station.
a pump
Yeah.
station, a pump system, a sewer system efficient. Therefore, everything as much as possible flows by gravity, aka downhill. So a pump station is put in the system to.
Is
take
he
it from
mansplaining
point A
gravity?
to Point B. Point A being the low point at the bottom of the hill to point B, which is where it needs to get to, so it can flow again by gravity, ultimately getting to a wastewater treatment plant to be treated and released. In this case, you have a rather large area that is flowing downhill and historically has gone there. In this
The
particular
man
case,
who
it
smells the
is
poop is like, none of this is an
in
acceptable
this case, it
explanation to
happens
me.
to be away. Again,
Quit
it's not
talking about
talking
fucking gravity, you
and
asshole.
that pump therefore pumps that sewage from
Yeah,
there
this
up to
the
top of
poop man
Belmont,
is judging
where it
all of
then
us.
again flows
This
by
is a long
gravity
way of
to
saying that they
continue
had
to
too
flush
much to
flows
deal with and they
to be
needed to
treated
go
properly.
somewhere.
That's the short answer why it was really.
I mean, that's
originally
essentially
taken.
all
Sure, there
waste
were many
management
brains
is
that were
just
sitting at a
keep
table
it out of the
drafting
way.
where it needed to go. Probably long before
It's too
there were
complicated to actually deal with.
pump station, there was a wastewater treatment plant. It was probably, discharged there. That was the means of doing
This
it.
is probably
Years
the real answer for why that
ago,
location was chosen is probably fascinating. It's a
Having
shame
said
this guy
that,
doesn't know.
um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of work to be done, and with
And
the
it probably does
analysis,
have
we need
to do
information, we
with the
need to go over
piggery.
that pump station from the point of view
Which is
of
amazing.
what needs to be done, and where are we going to go from here.
Do you guys
Part
want
of
to
the
open up
analysis
Worcester's
is part of
hottest
that,
restaurant?
where we go from here may be looking at, can a pump station be placed in a
piggery.
different location? Can there be
Yeah, we gotta do like the ampersand like style of like thing and just call it big and shit. Open it
But
right
it's,
over there.
it's a
Pig and
vegan
shit.
restaurant where we all eat vegetables out of troughs.
The poop house.
System that can be even a
Oh, hi, Kate.
Again, to minimize the
Hi,
risk of
Kate.
a catastrophic event.
You're late.
occurring again.
Mhm.
Now,
She's
with
sending out
those
Etsy
answers,
packages.
And at whatever point you'd like, I would like to have a few other folks speak to what occurred, what we're doing, and the other questions with regards to what's the impact on the lake, what's the impact on the fish, what are we looking at, and then long-term, where are we going to go?
How many
What
times have we
have
mistaken
so far
fish for
learned
turds
today
and turds for
is
fish?
a snapshot in time. We're still,
You see, the issue,
take some of these critical pieces.
the issue came about. The issue came about when Mo Bergman was rooting around down there trying to eat turds, and he got in the way of one of the impellers and broke it.
The leak was caused by Mo Bergman gnawing like a rat at the sewer line.
or if it's
Trying to get
He's-
his next meal.
the same thing.
Yeah,
resides
he
with
said the
lake.
good turds
What
were
are we
behind
looking
the
at as
the
lake
pump.
today? What do we need to monitor in the future? Are there any steps we need to take with the lake and with what's
No,
being
Mo,
done
you're not
to
human. I'm not.
correct that so that
That's fine.
we as stewards of the lake, of
I'm
the
a
city,
ghost.
of
It's all
natural
you can't.
resource,
Nobody
what
can hurt
we
me now.
do to make sure that whatever damage has occurred, we can mitigate its effects?
Through the chair. to
Wow.
the Commissioner, what's the time?
No one would eat there because we only like Applebee's.
Having them
Gotta tell you,
you know, what has transpired.
We're going to start the
All right.
rumor that this was sabotage and Ed's way of avoiding any more COVID testing of our shit water.
What is the time frame that we're looking at getting answers? And the follow-up question to that is, excuse me.
Ed really didn't like the Wake Festival happening at Lake Quincy.
Hates dragon boats.
He thought it was woke fest, so he freaked out.
No,
He shut down.
He can't bulldoze the lake like he did to Warside.
Block poopy. Block poopy. That's so good. Oh, poopo. Mad e poopy.
And again, I'm trying. The answer is recognizing there's others that can make it
Get out of
With
here.
regards to who's at the pump station, who's at the base, who responded to the pump station, who's doing the work now. We have a contractor, R.H. White, who does a lot of our maintenance. They were one of our emergency responders. They responded there. They brought
Oh, they
in
do
another
maintenance? Well, get a new fucking contractor.
bypass and temporary setup.
Yeah.
They also
The
mobilized
maintenance
another
seems to be a little bit
So
lacking.
contractors on the ground that day working. In addition,
It's a lot of
it would
shit,
take me
man.
like it would take me like 3 or 4 days to eat that much shit.
worldwide renowned engineer to bring their experts in. They're going to
Pooper corns.
to look at the pump station. and
Pooper
start the
corns.
analysis. During the process,
My
we
sister's
reached out
poop
to a number of folks
too.
looking for any assistance that we could find. I did speak out with a former director of operations for the
Oh, it's all
MWI,
great. So funny.
and asking for his guidance and whatnot, and that initiated a number of conversations. And I'm being pointed to
Poop Jeans Pizza.
someone spoke to me, sort of a guru in the pump station world, who has a lot of knowledge of.
This episode is brought to you by Crafty Kombucha. Sure.
Crafty kombucha.
Crafty Kombucha. Just kidding. Just kidding. I called that. No one's ever called it.
Do we have the tested information? Are there things we haven't thought of that could be wrong, could be right, need to be done?
Here's what this is. I want to help them. They should have not had the poop go into the lake. So that's step one.
We're going to look at about the same approach. Timeline-wise, we are.
But damn it, that ballpark bill, right, guys?
A couple months before we have a full report.
Yeah, we have a pumping station that routinely dumps millions of tons of piss and shit into our lake. We got that fucking ballpark bill, guys.
How much shit would it take to fill a Polar Park?
So that's as much as I can sort of.
You know, that'd be a very, very useful infographic.
That's a great question.
What is the cubic like holding? Like, if you filled Polar Park to the top with water, how many gallons is that?
The lake and effects and what needs to be.
We need to get a very person on that question.
Yeah, we got smart people in the comments. Somebody do the scratch math on that. This seems like a Google that you accidentally put into the comments.
Let's make it easier. We'll just call it the size of a standard baseball field, and then we'll say 150 feet high. What is that?
Step aside.
Through the chair, my name is Jacqueline Burmeister. I'm the coordinator of the Lakes and Ponds program here for the for the City of Worcester Department of Sustainability and Resilience. And one of the things that we do is we monitor and manage Lake Quinsigamon for
Shit.
recreation.
Make sure it's not full of shit.
So we spend a lot of time.
Turns out
the lake.
the lake is in fact full of shit.
That's a big issue for me professionally.
This woman looks about as tired as she should be, being the shit calculator at Lake Quinsigamon.
Have been working with the Department of Public Works at this point as well.
You gotta count them by hand
and tag them. That's the weirdest part.
And then tag and release so that we can find out where they go and how they
She has
mate.
a special poop kiss that helps her keep track of how many poops go in.
But does she name them?
Really came to 3 things that
They're just numbered.
about.
She's just really stressed because that guy behind her just smells like shit.
This is the bacteria that live inside of all of us, and they really
Yeah, but
don't
especially
live
in that guy.
too long outside of humans and other animals, but certainly could have an effect on public health if people come in contact with them. Another thing we were looking at was organic matter, which contains a lot of nutrients that fuel the natural basic processes in the lake.
Put a positive
Things
spin
like
on this. This is free
bacteria that are native to the
probiotics
lake,
for all Worcester residents.
cyanobacteria, a lot of those microorganisms that are really good at absorbing nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus in that organic matter and thriving faster than a lot of the bigger organisms. That means they use a lot of oxygen, cause oxygen depletion in the lake, which could have ramifications for our fish populations. The other thing we're worried about are other contaminants of concern, anything else that someone could possibly.
I heard some of the toxic sewage got sick from Moberg.
We were looking to monitor and determine if there were going to be effects for humans and for wildlife. I should say that when working to develop this list, worked with Mass Wildlife as well. They're also
Once you
very
finish
concerned
teaching them to
about
swim, Mo.
fish populations. So, and especially in Lake Quinsigamon, which is a really special resource. So, we developed a monitoring plan for all 3 of those.
I'm not trying to be dismissive of
to measure fecal
our fish
bacteria.
population in
We
Worcester,
are
but when
working
all
with
of District 2 has norovirus and you're focused on lake trout, I think your priorities are a little screwed up.
out in the
We can get to the
center,
fish eventually, but
we went out there and we took we drilled through the ice and we took a few samples at various points north and south of the pump station, in addition to right in front of it. We sampled for nutrients such as total phosphorus, ammonia, and nitrate. These are all the things that we sample throughout the entire year.
That means that's
we have a
poo-poo,
really good
pee-pee,
baseline
and gross
measurement of
stuff.
what those should be in the lake. We don't have as much data.
We sampled for
the
piss,
others, but
shit,
know
and
what
cum.
levels,
Numbers
are,
1, 2, and 3
are critical. So the third thing that we
A Tool song just starts
were
playing while they're
taking
doing it.
samples for was as another thing with those organic parameters were dissolved oxygen. We wanted to see directly how much oxygen was in the water, if the spill was causing any challenges for fish to respire. And then the last thing was we wanted to take some measurements for all those other things that people flushed down the drain. And so we did that on Thursday.
Evidence.
Yeah, we were
on
there. We
Friday,
had
again,
measurements
went out and
for
we took more
oxys,
samples throughout the entire lake,
part
and we went out again
30s,
on
fentanyl, heroin, cocaine.
So our initial results are dissolved
Lil
oxygen
Tech
for all
20,
the locations
some
that
poop
we
went in
were
a
looking
lake
at
and
has
the city
remained high.
cannot figure out
And
why.
so this was a relief because we're seeing.
Don't
that
worry
we
about
haven't
which
seen
city.
any,
5 million gallons of poop in a lake
that's
that's widely
by
used.
microorganisms that would cause
A 4-season recreational lake.
be suffering.
5 million gallons of
Something that we
poop.
kind of expected.
It's
Lake
like
Quinsigamon does have
it's the
oxygen
Chernobyl
in the
of
summer months, and that has to do with a
lake
lot
poop.
of the ability of warm water to hold less oxygen than.
Yeah, and this is a public meeting to rename it Lake Poop.
There's a lot less
I
activity.
kept
in
the city manager this morning was like, "Yeah, it's a lot of poop in the lake, but there's a lot of water in the lake too. So it's more water than there is poop water."
Hey.
Yeah, it's a shitty situation.
For our nutrients,
I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Shit."
anything elevate in the locations that we were choosing.
Travis, can you have that sign up right now?
Normal summer usage, in the lake. And so
I shared Lake Quinsigan. I didn't even know it.
just because it's something that we already do. And so we'll be able to continue to follow up on that to make sure that things don't change. And finally, the bacteria samples that we took in the middle of the lake were also very low to none. And so I can't speak for what inspectional services is doing, but in the middle of the lake, the bacteria
Depends on how
levels
much
there are
roughage you eat.
quite low. And that has to do with the fact that these organisms are not able to live outside of the human body for more than a few hours to a few days.
It gets stuck in the
so that
fan
was
blades,
really
Mo.
reassuring to us. We're going to continue to monitor these things. We're still waiting for our results for those other contaminants. Those should be coming soon.
Directly from Mo Bergman's butt.
Continue to provide that information as it comes in and is available.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I would ask
It
that
happens
this
at Lakewood
item
Sig is
go
pretty good.
to Public Works for us to continue to monitor what's happening as this evolves. So if we could, that would be my motion, because I do know, and again, I want to say thank you.
My motion is to monitor the
the
shit lake.
commissioner and his staff, because this was certainly a major deal in the city of Worcester, and they handled it as quickly as they possibly could. But it's a really unfortunate situation, and I'm looking forward to hearing how we're going to fix this. So
Just
it
shit
doesn't
in Kelly
happen
Square.
again. And also looking at the opportunity, does this pumping station get moved? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You just get like the old white city sign. It just says Brown City.
Mr. Chairman, through you. to the commissioner. Mr. Chairman, through you to the commissioner. Sure. Mr. Commissioner, was there an alarm that went off? Or was
Now,
there not an alarm that went
I
off?
didn't contribute to this problem because I wear gigantic diapers, but
Press releases that put out, there's been a little bit of a variance in.
hey.
Mr. Chairman, through you to the counselor, within a pump station, you have alarm points. You have alarm points at different things that would cause you concern, need attention, whether it's a pump, if you will, stopped or something along those lines. The problem that occurred with this pump station was
that it put a bunch of shit in the lake
on what should be basically a dry room that you wouldn't expect flow in, but because basically a hole opened up in the side of the pump, which even though the pump kept
We understand how a leak works.
Well, was where it was supposed to be. That
was there a poop alarm when the shit was coming out of the pipes?
It became dry.
What you're saying is the shit hit the fan.
There was no alarm.
When I go to the bathroom, I usually get a little grumble in my tummy that lets me know it's time. I'm wondering if the pumping station got a similar thing.
That's a good point,
Yanni.
Yanni.
The electricity started shorting out. The pump started shutting down. Then the alarm started going off. When the operator that comes in for daily routine, daily runs, looked and saw that at 7 o'clock when they looked at the panel at another station that there was an alarm that was going off at the station. That's when they started looking.
A hole opened up.
The pump station operator on his phone looked.
That's how it works.
That was at the station and realized we've got an overflow. At that point, immediately, phones started going out, calls started going out for the response that ensued. We are still looking at
a big giant plunger was sent down there.
The alarm systems are again in series and redundant. Why that didn't?
We called the flex tape guys, but they said it was too late.
That it did, which should have been about an hour earlier than this. We're still looking at those types of things to find out, what part went wrong, and that's
all of it.
The
all of it went wrong.
We're doing.
Well, the hole opened up. That was
in order to have a
problem
catastrophic
one.
event like this. There were many things that had to go wrong. So,
Ever seen the HBO limited series Chernobyl? It was kind of like that, except with poop in the lake.
They send a crew of guys down there to shoot poop. Just shoot all the poop.
From the outside.
Mr. Commissioner?
Are they heard from?
I don't know that there's an
What would an alarm have accomplished, George Russell? Are you going to go down and plug the leak yourself? You're going to wade into this shit like a hero? Start it with your adult diapers. So
I have a finished basement, Mr. Chairman.
My supporters know I've wanted a poop alarm for years. I've standed on a platform of poop alarms.
On the floor, so that if anything leaked, it would send a code to my phone. I would think in today's day of technology that we have, I'm sure we have systems in place, but we should have double systems, and we should ask.
Yeah, brag
alarm
much.
alarms go off and people that answer the phone. I've heard from folks in the area that have said that they've called on weekends and didn't have, weren't able to get a hold of someone. They got made through the emergency water line, the water emergency phone number.
Bergman actually
through you, Mr. Chairman.
did a 5 pressure point takedown of the security guard that was supposed to be monitoring for poop leaks. So he could go in there and chew the wires out and shoot through the tubes.
That was 7 years ago. I know, Mr. Commissioner, you weren't here in 2015.
Is there actually an SRO Appreciation Day?
And
It's like fucking chocolate chip cookie day. It's like 7 times a year.
I have a long history of this, Mr. Chairman. As you know, I lived on Lake Ave. I was the president of the Watershed Association. I was involved.
The Water Shit Association?
Sounds like a terrible job.
We need one of those, apparently.
We cured this problem. I thought this issue.
I'm old enough to remember when the pigs ate the shit. And we fed the pigs to the crazy people. And it's been happening every year since then.
I know you're calling in.
He's particularly qualified, remember?
I mean, what was it that wasn't done in 2015 that we need to do now?
I am the walrus.
Why do we have to wait for the consultants?
Mr. Chairman, through you, as you say, I was not here in 2015 when the upgrades were done. The upgrades appear to have been, and our director can certainly correct me if I'm wrong, there were pumps that were replaced, there was odor control systems put in place, there was electrical panels put in place, there was a SCADA system put in place, and the SCADA system is what controls the pump station, also auto dials and sends alarms out when those types of things happen. As to what needs to be done right now, that's the $1 million question. Okay. Not to put a price tag on it, but it's
what a funny word to say. I don't know.
Suggest what needs to be done. Right now, I've got pumps that are failured and things that have been submerged.
Didn't the Route 20, through you, Mr. Chairman, didn't the Route 20 project and the Whitwood Drive pump station, didn't that take a lot off of the system? Or did it not?
My understanding is it took about 750,000 gallons a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I clicked on your. I got a notification that you shared the video, and then I accidentally clicked on it, and it started playing on Facebook.
Mr. Chairman, I think I just have some. I mean, we could all be Monday morning quarterbacks, myself included, and the commissioner and his team. I think overall do a great job. But I'm just flabbergasted with this. I just really am. I know
back in the tube.
I know they didn't want it to happen. I know they did everything that they could. But,
I missed this one.
There are certain things.
Take shit, bro. Dude, call him that on the city's Facebook Live and end his whole life. Take shit, bro.
He's
a real expert.
I look forward to having more of a detailed conversation at the Public Works Committee and having it soon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. We get Councilor King followed by Councilor Toomey.
Kate's going to suggest that we give every resident of Worcester a small pail. They go down and scoop up their shit, bring it home, and reflush it to solve the problem.
Certainly asked the right questions. First, just a thought around this matter. I know that,
the council's going to go first with their Boynton buckets.
Infinite Christians.
George Russell's not smart enough to be a center, but he could probably pull off being a guard or a defensive.
Christianception.
For potential impacts. One of the things that I'm interested in learning as well is we've had this recurrent issue as relates to the lake. I know that The woman that
This
testified,
city is inept.
Christian just broke Facebook.
Tip to tail.
When it's
Look at this shit. This is so funny.
higher rate or higher. Just wondering if we can get some sort of,
I just want to see him do like the.
He is so inept, but like
pass it all
everything-
the way down.
just so we can have
Tries to do.
as some form of motion, so we can
You
have.
can't even
ongoing
make sure the poop doesn't go in the
of
lake.
What the challenges are, what the gains are. I know we've talked
How
about
long
the
have we had a
things
system?
of that nature. There's a lot of work that we've been doing in the city manager. I think he created that position in that department. And I think the mayor, as I recall, a couple of terms ago, he was championing the blue space, as it were, our water bodies. So all of that's kind of coming in support of public works, and I appreciate that. My quick question that I do have is regarding the fish kills as it's defined, or that's the language they use here, and it indicates, and you mentioned that we do not predict large fish kills to result from this event.
Fish
You talked
mostly
about
eat
the
shit anyway,
altitude
so
and all
I
of
think
that.
it's fine.
But I'm just wondering what exactly that means. Does that mean not?
Yeah, I'm
large
really
fish kills,
uninterested
will be
in how
moderately
the
high
fish are going to
fish
handle
kills?
this.
Like, what's the rubric?
I think we might have bigger
that
fish
will
to
be
fry.
used here?
Hey,
understand
no,
from
don't
this
eat the fish
that
right now. It is
kills
Lakewood
will
City.
absolutely happen as a consequence to the chair.
Mr. Commissioner, Ms. Burmeister.
There you go. Finally,
To the chair.
a little appreciation.
Great
Thanks.
question. So fish kills are usually the result of decreased dissolved oxygen in the water. And as you mentioned, in the summer months,
Man, this lady's a fucking nerd, huh?
fish kills occurring
Yeah.
because of all of the metabolic processes happening in the water and the fact that
Think
water
about
can't
think
hold
about the
as
week
much
she's had.
oxygen to begin with. And a lot of times,
Oh, all right.
Amazing.
where to go.
There on the ice and chill
really
and
special.
figure out what the poop's doing
And it has a lot
to the
of
lake.
thermodynamics
I expect a
occurring in
report.
it that aren't occurring in a lot of our other lakes and ponds. And during the winter months,
Then you
what
have
we
to come to
find
the
is
city
that,
council to hear George
fish
Russell be
holds a
like,
lot
so
more
you're telling me there's no poop alarm for the poop pipe
because of that,
when it goes into the lake?
and the ability of the water
I got
to
poop alarms in my house. Seems like
we
today
expect
we would
that
have
any
poop
sort of
alarms
increase in
to the
metabolic
poop lake
activity that
from the
occurs
poop.
with these nutrients coming into the
And
water
she's like, yep,
is
uh-huh.
going to be small
I'm a scientist.
compared to what the fish are accustomed to feeling in the summer months. And fish, while they're a little bit slower in the cold, they could still sense when there's a drop in oxygen and are able to move to a place where there is
This
more
shizzle. Is that
and
anything?
so while no drop in oxygen is ideal, we don't
Miss
expect that there is going to be no place for fish
Miss
to
Dyer
live,
Rizzle.
if this happens to occur.
There we
With
go.
that said, our oxygen testing
The magic
this
school
year
butt.
has shown that we haven't seen that
Magic
happening
school
yet. We're
butt.
obviously gonna continue to watch for it. Because it's so cold, there is a lot less metabolic activity and bacteria and cyanobacteria activity occurring in the lake, and so it is
No.
possible as it warms up. These
Donna
nutrients
Colorio's brain has
available to
melted
these
after this
waters,
lady
so we're
started
gonna
talking.
continue to monitor that. But the reason
I
why
do not know
but
what any of
as
these
far
words
as
are.
monitoring how much of a fish kill occurs, it is a little bit difficult to quantify that right now because of the ice cover. But we have been working with Fish and Wildlife, who said that they are going to send out a team to try and determine after the ice disappears if there have been any fish kills by looking at the floating fish.
Dead fish.
So we won't know until that happens. But all of the signs that we have up until now.
We're going to do the very highly scientific thing. We're going to go out there and look for dead
Thank
fish.
you. We just want to make sure, let's file the motion that we get that
Whoa.
report as soon as it's available.
Quantum King.
As the water gets warmer, the fish kills. And the last question I had is, it indicates here in this report, and you touched upon it previously. It was touched upon previously, Mr. Chairman.
Here you go,
there's
Bill.
not
Check it out.
expected to be accumulation of fecal bacteria or
so
nor
good.
the organic material over time in the bottom of the lake. But this report indicates that the other compounds of concern while less understood, are
While he's
expected to
here,
be
give Travis his
present in
flowers.
much lower
Can fish get COVID?
concentrations. I was wondering if you could just clarify what that means for me.
I don't know. I've never
If
seen a
this
fish
is
cough or sneeze.
it says the other compounds of concern such as
So
that would be helpful for me.
That'd be really funny if you saw that though.
Through the chair. Absolutely.
And it
So
just
as far
bubbles.
as the accumulation of the organic
Oh, all right.
matter
Well,
and the
problem
fecal
solved
matter,
then.
that you were referring to, all of those things we expect to be degraded. So we don't expect there to be any accumulation of organic matter on the bottom of the lake. As far as those other compounds, a lot of those
We expect it to stick to the young kids who are swimming in the lake, and they will take it home with them.
Sewage already.
No accumulation.
And these are things when we're are things like pharmaceuticals, things that are being flushed down the drain.
See?
In my experience and through speaking to Mass Wildlife,
So now all the
our
fish are addicted
concerns
to
with
meth.
these types of exposures to fish are much more chronic than acute.
There was a
are
fish
Yeah,
kill
they're
at
on
Ad
chronic.
Fair.
and amphibians that are consistently exposed to these compounds.
I guess around this issue, you'll have,
However, when you
you'll
have
start
a
going down the lake
diluted
with straws.
amount of these compounds
So
coming in,
there's a bunch of trucks in the water.
5.75 million gallons into a lake of the size of Lake Quinsigamond of 8 billion, while significant and continuing to be significant if it continued to happen.
I think we should just
we're not
everybody
expecting
inhale
that is going to cause
their own
long-term
poop in the lake.
challenges for the fish. With that said, we are going to continue to monitor them to make sure that we're not seeing them in high quantities that would lead to something like that. But we are really not expecting that to be a concern. As far as
It's not a big deal. I boil all my water anyways. I just like really hot water.
General water quality monitoring, I would invite all of you to attend
I
the
find it
annual City of
refreshing.
the Lakes event that we have every winter. This month,
No
is on
plugs,
February
lady. Get out of here.
24th, and you can register at tinyurl.com/blueinthewoo 2021.
That's
It's
great.
2022.
I've actually attended one or two of those. Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to mention, I did file the order last week asking what state and federal supports we have received due to this and due to concerns in the lake in the past. And
The thin brown
Worcester
line.
is very involved with this. I'm not sure. I guess a quick question would be: Is Grafton? Does it touch Grafton at all?
It's more of a
There?
wide brown line.
The lake. Is there any involvement with Grafton? So I'm just wondering, Mr. Chairman, if I could just quickly ask,
Wow.
what sort of engagement is occurring with the city of Worcester
According
in
to
terms
the
of
numbers, the lake is 0.06250.
relative to this
That's
matter?
that's the percentage of my body that is breakfast baconator.
Through the chair. So when the initial
0.06250.
response plan was put into motion on Sunday morning,
More than zero.
I was able to reach out to the lake.
This is where we should be.
More than zero?
Representatives on it from Grafton, Shrewsbury.
Yeah, I mean, there's never gonna be zero shit in Lake Quincy.
There's always one.
Yeah. We should be doing.
As far as Grafton,
Yeah.
We should have a zero poop in the lake policy.
you don't expect necessarily that they're
Shoot from the moon, you land among the stars.
No poop left in the lake.
Further, Mr. Chairman, I'll just
Bill Shannon, no poop 2024.
I grew up.
I'm running for city council on the platform that we should not
Poo in the woo.
lake.
My oldest 28, my youngest 5. We still go
Dude,
to
if
the
you
lake.
can't
Worcester, look at this hair. It cannot have poop in it, and I love to swim.
Questions arise. So I bring that up just to say
My hair is so knotted that if I swim in the lake, the poop will not come out. Bring the poop back home into my community.
A whole bunch of things.
That's how 311
I just
fans get
encourage the
dreadlocks,
city
right?
mans to continue to be transparent on this, because when something
Yeah.
happens, when they shut down in
That's
the
the only way
summertime,
for white people to get
folks that are not
dreadlocks.
connected, they're not following this stuff, might remember the headline, and they have questions. So if there's a way that we can highlight some of this on the website or whatever the case might be, I think it would be helpful for all. Thank you.
Thank you. You have Council Toomey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, boy.
I also I actually live a block away
What
from
will
the
she
lake,
say next?
a block away from Flint Pond, which is a repository for the lake. And that's the part that I think touches Grafton. So I'm also very concerned. One of the things that I heard
Because it's in her front
the
yard, not because
gentleman,
it's bothering anybody else.
earlier
Yeah, right.
talking about this, and I think I heard properly.
Jess,
was that
I'm not gonna.
odor
I want you to
has
see it for
been an
yourself, and we
issue,
will
not
experience it
just
again.
with this. That's
It's
through you,
amazing.
Mr. Chair. And so I'm wondering, I'm concerned about that, and why didn't we address odor before? It's not a question you can answer, but I'm just worried. Why didn't we address odor before, if this has been a continuing, ongoing issue? Through you,
Because
Mr.
everybody
Chair.
had COVID.
In addition to that,
You want to answer the question? Or?
If I might
sure. Well, I
quickly.
didn't think he could because he hasn't been here that long.
Mr. Commissioner or Director?
We had actually, due to complaints of odor adjacent to that pump station, we'd actually contracted with an engineering firm to come out, evaluate the odors.
People were
and
complaining
they
because
had
it
gone
smelled
through
too
the
good
station. I don't have a
next
final
to
report from
Lakewood's
that yet.
sake.
At this point, it's on the back burner, but there had been an initiation of that, so
Okay.
that will
So-
be part of the report coming forward.
Christianception.
Thank you. And so to that point, I'm wondering, do we have other pumping stations that have had similar issues with flooding throughout the city? You said we have, what, 30-something pumping stations?
Director Gorin, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, but how many pumping stations?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Councilor, so we have about 30 sewer pumping stations in the city.
This is the first time I've ever seen our actual shit czar in a council meeting. I didn't know we had one until
He's
just
like,
now.
listen, people are talking a lot about shit in the lake, but have you guys even thought about how much piss is in there?
By far the largest.
I'll tell you, it's a shitload.
It's a lot more sophisticated and a lot more difficult situation for it to operate in compared to the others.
Okay.
Not to mention all the fish that have sex in
I
there.
just, if there are other pumping stations that do have some overflow, even though it may not be as catastrophic as this, perhaps, lessons learned.
Listen,
I have not eaten dinner yet, but I'm looking forward to eating my insect fragments soon.
We're a part of this world. We can't avoid gross
flow to
things.
those as well.
It is what it is.
Through you, Mr. Chair.
You eat some bugs.
And,
we
it's
should
a
be eating
quality
more
of life
bugs.
issue for all of us,
Yeah.
and we understand that. So
Our factory farming system is unsustainable. We should be eating much more insect protein.
Solid waste sewage has gone in. Does that help at all? Would that help ensure
That's what
that,
you should have run on, Yenny.
some of the
Yeah.
waste that
Local
went
cricket
into
farming.
the- I know it's a very deep lake, but right at the shoreline where it went in, would that assist the quality of water?
Through the chair, I might be deferring to Jacqueline on that, but it is a very deep lake at that point right behind the pump station, so I would imagine there's very little to be gained from dredging there.
Okay, that's just, I didn't know. if
My
there
neighbor
was-
says he has a
I'm
wet
not sure
vac.
exactly
Would
how
that be
deep
helpful?
the lake drops,
Can't
so
you
just at that
suggest
point,
dredging the
very
poop
deep
out?
right there.
Told you, little
Really what
buckets. You got the little buckets, bring them home, flush it back down.
She wants to dredge. She wants to dredge the poop.
With the lake, when they were building, it came up when they were building the bridge, and they were talking about
Oh my
remedying
God.
the state. So that's why I was just asking that question.
This is why I
So,
said something stupid, is
the
because
other
of a
thing is,
stupid
are all
reason.
the properties on the Shrewsbury side of the lake, are they all connected to sewage now? Because at one time, they were, a lot of them were not connected to sewage, even though
Who-
the Worcester side was. So
Who fucking cares?
when they,
What does that have to?
when they,
Hey, I know something about something.
Sewerage, and they did connect on the Route 20 side, but I'm not sure. Do we know the status of all the connections in Shrewsbury?
Through the chair to the councilor, I
These
don't
are
know
stupid,
the status.
uh,
I know a lot of the
Shrewsbury.
town of Shrewsbury is sewered at this point, but I couldn't tell you whether all of the waterfront homes are or are not.
Through you, Mr. Chair, perhaps we could get a report back on that.
my
Maybe
God.
contact the town of Shrewsbury, because I think that's important too. that, if we're going to be, trying to ensure that the quality of water is improved here, that everybody is on board. And I know some people may be.
So once all the turds are tagged, what's the next
they're on
step?
the property, they've been there and all of that. But
Kate just wants to make sure that Lieutenant Governor Pacillo isn't shitting directly into Lake Quinsigamond every morning.
Put their sewage into the lake. So I think that would be helpful. Thank you very much. And I thank you for the report and all the efforts that have been going into
Shrewsbury
this.
is long known for its
And
outhouses.
I know that it's a beautiful lake. And
Yeah, why is she talking shit on Shrewsbury right now? Listen, I hate Shrewsbury too, but
the residents that
it's
live
where
there,
Jim Pacillo's from.
They didn't dump 5.7 million gallons of their shit into the water.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. So we're gonna
More
start
like
with
Poosberry.
Public Works. Prior to doing so, I just wanted to again thank the team and DPW for the response, and looking forward to the reports.
But no thank you for dumping 5 million gallons of shit in Lake Quinsigamond.
I have a lot of confidence to do
A wall of
things to help
shit.
the lake on an ongoing basis. You're doing a great job, so keep it up. Thank you.
You're doing a great job getting the shit in the lake. You're putting up numbers.
Mayor, President Public Works, along with Councilmember Carlson's report orders and Councilor King.
And just put it on her desk.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Caloria.
I mean, that I can get on board with.
Councilor King.
Which item is this again, please?
This is the public. This is going to Public Works.
Oh, yes.
Councilmember Carlson.
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera.
Yes.
Councilor Rose.
Yes.
Councilor Russell.
Yes.
Councilor Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Okay, we're going to go to orders. Request of the senior
That was
manager
actually
to
incredible.
put the,
This entire
Commissioner of
body
Public
agrees
Works
that
and
shitting in
Parks
Lake
instructed
Quinsigamond
staff
is
contract to execute
not good.
practice of leaving large piles of snow near the end of the street corners and cover handicap ramp sidewalks access. Councilor Russell.
Chairman, Manager Reeves.
Okay. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman.
Yes.
Councilor Caloria.
Yes.
I want to let's bust out the statistics here
Sign on to that.
and try to really get the mantle of dumping the most shit in the lake
Rivera.
per capita.
Yes, and I also like to sign on. Excellent order. Thank you.
Yeah, we didn't win for longest union strike in the history of America, but we might have the single largest municipal Superfund site.
Okay, the sign-ons go before the roll call.
Later, shit nerds.
And,
Oh, this guy's in cahoots.
He's gonna stab one of them.
Most shit in the lake per capita in the world.
Being compensated to solicit elected or appointed officials concerning policy matters in the city of Worcester's government. Said information should include who they are and on behalf of who they are contacting officials for. Further request that the data be public information as soon as it is filed. Councilor Russell.
Mr. Chairman, this is an item that I think we've touched on before.
Oh, I cut out.
In previous councils, I think we would have
Still here.
a report from the clerk or from the
there you
water
go.
department on it.
Now he's
on
gone.
around.
It's a great still, though.
I don't want to make this any more complicated than it has to be. In the city of Boston and the city of Providence, they do similar registrations. These are a little bit more complicated. All I'm looking for is a pretty simple thing. I've talked to the clerk about this. He tells me he doesn't think it would be hard to do. But all I'm looking for folks to do, folks that are being paid to solicit the city council, or for that matter, the administration, to change policy in the city of Worcester city government, that they disclose who's paying them and what their name is and that's it. It's very simple. And that information
Sounds to me like they're coming after the craft tea kombucha folks right here.
becomes available for the public to see, for the folks that they're trying to influence to see. And to be clear, Mr. Chairman, many times at that microphone, people come in and say that they're representing this company or that company. They come in and they say they're representing this association or this environmental or nonprofit group, and they disclose it. And sometimes they don't. And that's what I'm concerned about, is when they don't. Myself as an elected official, I shouldn't have to go do research to try and figure out where people are coming from. They should be disclosing it when they're coming.
This is a good idea, High Castle.
That's it. I'm hoping that this could be done without even.
There's a
charging.
couple islands over at Coe's Pond that are made entirely out of goose shit. So yeah, that's doable.
Of a fine or whatever. Folks
Yeah, right into the lake.
But it's something that I asked to be sent to the Municipal Operations Committee for discussion. And I think we've got similar items that are there that we don't need to put the law department to work anymore than we've already worked. I think we could probably take it here and work with them to nail this down. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we'll send that to the manager and get a report. Council Kane.
I made the motion to send to the committee also, please.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I welcome this to come to municipal operations. We have a pending item that's been in there for quite some time. I think with this new constellation of a committee, we might be bringing it forward. I have a number of questions on this particular order here. However, I support the discussion. When it comes to paid lobbyists, what they do on the state level is the intervals of report. And there's nothing wrong with kind of replicating something here. If it's, SCIU, if it's some other union, if it's
I kind of like the idea of this, but I like the idea of where it could go if they included municipal unions in this too. Like, it would be cool to see how that impacted the police unions in the way that they approach the council, which are almost entirely about budgetary concerns.
Yeah.
If it's for
Yeah, listen, I'm all in favor of identifying lobbyists.
Yeah, tag them.
They should,
Yeah.
yeah, just release them into Lake Quinsigamon with all the other shit.
We keep hearing the constant mantra of transparency. So,
Bob, come on, you had one job.
Come on, Bob.
Committee.
Okay, send that to municipal operations.
No, you missed that too, actually.
So, Mr. Mayor, just for clarification, you want to send it to the manager, the clerk, as well as municipal operations? Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Bob, I've heard of your work.
No, Bob didn't tell anyone to go fuck themselves. Bob told half a story about a wheelbarrow rolling down the street. We're not blaming him for telling everyone to go fuck themselves.
Oh, well, I encourage it.
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes. Request the manager provide the council with a report concerning the traffic calming measures and/or improvements made to address pedestrian safety and crashes.
I'll go back and watch the tape. I'll figure it out.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had heard about this issue when I was campaigning up on Apricot Street and Newton Square. It's something that the Newton Square Association of Neighborhood meeting requested that I put this forward. I think as a mom, I'm really concerned about also
Yeah, Bob, you should have went down.
accidents, is traffic crashes. That puts the onus on motorists and the dangerous conditions in which
Yeah, the
they
acoustics are great in that room. You tell them to go fuck themselves.
joined
Would
the previous caller
have been gorgeous.
Yanni DeRozier, who said that we should have something tangible to work on, whether that's some traffic calming measures or something more tangible than what's been done in the past. So I welcome any report on that. And I'm happy to take the second one if you wish.
I think Councilor Rose wants
Oh,
to speak
sorry.
on this one. Okay, Councilor Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's that space and time where, as a counselor in a couple terms, you start seeing things turn over and over again. I would just ask for Councilor Hadjiai if she would be open to the idea of a friendly amendment. There's been a number of things that I think we all put on over the last couple of years as it relates to Newton Square Rotary. I know that Councilor Clory and I addressed, some signage and Councilor Bergman's signage, striping. At one point, we looked for a complete renovation of the Rotary as well. So it'd be nice to see where those items have landed, whether they're in a pending list or the administration's working on them, so that we can.
Bob, what do you do for work?
Address the safety concerns here. So if you wouldn't mind, I think that would be appropriate, so we get a full range of the challenges and issues and what's currently happening in this area of the city. Thank you.
So we'll send that to the manager as amended. Roll call.
I think so. Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Clory?
All right, we finally have more people on our stream than on the Facebook stream.
Getting worried there for a minute.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell, Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes. Next item
The
is
more
request
balls
to
that get
provide
dropped,
council with a
the
report
happier
concerning
Yenny's
environmental
15
hazards on
illegal
155
dogs are going to be.
150 Blackstone River Road, as well as what actions under the city's TIP. Did I skip one? Oh, I'm sorry. Go back to 10.
He's tired from being
Request the city manager provide
infinitely
council
on
with
screen.
focus on the rules and regulations relative to the large trucks such as 18-wheelers driving on neighborhood streets. For request city manager include in said report information relative to the impact said large trucks have on residents' homes as well as city and pedestrian safety. Councilor Hajian.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Come on,
Again,
Mr.
this is something that
Yenny.
has come up over and over again in conversation with neighbors. While I understand
Let her
that
get
this
15
is
dogs.
governed perhaps by state rules, I'm also concerned about 18-wheelers and large trucks moving into our neighborhood streets and causing not just issues to the homes, but specifically, again, as a mom, I'm worried
We'll have a
lot
dog stream.
about the safety of our kids, and as well as pedestrians who are transit reliant and are affected by the safety of our streets. So love to see something tangible around that, and maybe some clarifications around what are the rules that govern state-owned streets, and also the rules that govern the movement of these 18-wheelers or big trucks around our city neighborhoods.
Sure.
Thank you.
Of course. Councilor Toomey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could we also, as part of that report, as a friendly amendment, get a list of all streets that have been designated no trucks allowed or limited weights? I know that we
Mo
had
Bergman's wearing his mask perfectly great. Oh, there you go.
over from 146 to Creepy Hill Road to Westboro Street and then to CS.
We haven't heard much from Mo tonight.
So every neighborhood in the city, I think, has had
He must hate his
issues
new
with,
seat.
trucks, and I know that the
He feels like the kid at the back of the
proliferation
class.
private use of private.
He's much farther away from Lake
small,
Quinsigamond than he likes to be.
Companies like the traffic company. What do you call that one? That everyone uses. The what's the
Came prepared.
Thank you. I couldn't remember it. But
It's okay,
people
kid. I have
truck
brain fog
drivers
from
are
COVID
using
too.
ways instead of using the professional truck driving technology and directions. So I think that's a problem too. And I know that it would be helpful to have an idea of where those streets are. Thank you.
Listen at the manager's amendment.
He's looking for poop.
Roll call.
Yes. Councilor Florio.
Yes.
Councilor Haji.
Yes.
Councilor King.
Yes.
Councilor Moore Carlson. Councilor Yen.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera.
Yes.
Councilor Rose.
Yes.
Councilor Russell.
Yes.
Councilor Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Request the manager provide council with a report concerning environmental hazards at 150 Blackstone River Road, as well as what actions under the city's TIF policy and the TIF agreement with the developer are available to ensure that these issues are addressed. Councilor Hajian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The article by Patch dated February 10th caught my attention around this. We talked a lot about environmental impacts today. Obviously, something that always catches my attention. I'm grateful that we've had this project and then the city has put resources to make sure that we have jobs. I simply just would like to understand under our current TIF policy, what are some actions, potential actions, remediations that we have embedded within that policy? It sounds like the state is taking care of it. It sounds like the company is rectifying it. It would be good to understand under our current TIF policy, especially if we're talking about environmental impacts and the safety of workers, what recourse and what actions could the city take now and in the future? Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hajian. Councilor Russell.
Mr. Chairman, while I support this item and don't even mind signing on to it, I'd just like to point out, I had a conversation with Mr. Dunn today from the Economic Development Office, and he tells me that this item, and my memory serves me correct, he's correct, he is correct, that this was before we had the TIF policies and all that kind of stuff. But This site, Mr. Chairman, these folks should be congratulated on what they've done with this site. They have taken, there was 16 complaints against this site. This site is the location where the cars used to be brought and
I don't know what that is, but it's awesome.
sent on trailers off on boats to God knows where to be used for scrap metal. This was one of the dirtiest sites that we had, and this company came along and clearly addressed 14 of the 16.
The dirtiest
issues.
sites? Was he talking
That's
about Lake Quinsigamon?
some things that they're debating and their concerns about. But this company and this facility.
The dirtiest sites? What is he talking about? Twitch.tv/WootenandyComedy?
And I think that we have to keep that in mind and congratulate them for that. And Mr. Chairman, as a district councilor for this area, this is one of the few, if not the only, organization that received the TIF that contacts me on a regular basis and says, hey, we're looking to hire more people. Can you share on social media that we're looking for people without even having the hammer of the TIF policy on them? So this company, even though I look forward to seeing the report and getting the information from the
I'm going to be
state,
honest, I have no idea what they're
I'm always
talking about.
open to looking
And I'm
at
okay with that.
But this company and this operation.
Yeah, they're
this whole
talking about a
facility
guy,
really
scrap
turned
metal.
that area around. And I'm glad.
Harriers.
I would have wished that there was something a lot prettier there. Or
Is
whatever,
Bill
but
taking up the mantle of
reality is that
dead guy
they took
now?
the site. There was a real big
Bill
problem
died.
for the city of Worcester.
He died. He went for a swim in Lake Quinsigamon, and
So we're going to send that to
a big shit ate him.
also Council King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to sign on to this. And just a quick question to the administration. What sort of attention is the city giving to this matter at this time? Is this something that's on the state? Just so I
Bill Shaner, forever in our farts.
Mr. Manager.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd have to talk to Mr. Dunn and get your report. So.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, and I too agree. I'd like to get the report on this. We should get amended to include the whole picture of the development there. It was one of the worst brownfield sites we had in the city of Worcester, and we have two major companies.
Brownfield? What is this? Lake Quinsigamon?
And see why the EPA went in there. So we'd like to get that report and also an explanation of exactly that company was going to move to Auburn. That's all I remember, and they stayed here in the city of Worcester, and they're a great asset to us. And that developer who still owns the property and did a good job and to keep that property going. So I'd like to get the whole picture here and we have that discussion. So we're going to send that to the manager as amended. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Calorio,
Yes.
Councilor Haji,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Maura Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
You know, for all the shit we give him,
Yes.
Mo actually has a really soothing voice when he says yes. It's just, it sounds really nice.
Water, gas, natural grid to be used as needed and to understand.
See, whenever he says yes, I hear it in 1,000 different voices, all at different pitches, like some eldritch
I'm happy
beast.
to say that ahead of time, Assistant City Manager Valentine had given those numbers out, I believe, to everybody. I think it's a great idea. I know all the years I've been on the council, I've struggled sometimes with constituent calls after hours, trying to figure out who do we contact and how do we reach them. And it happened a couple times recently. And having a new council chairman, having these numbers available to everybody, I think is a great way to start. So I want to thank the manager for getting this information over.
Is that Bill Flushing?
I think so.
Valentine.
Bill's spirit.
Any information over to all of us. I think it's going to be helpful. Hopefully not overused, but definitely needed. So thank you.
So you want to file this then?
I think we can file, unless there's anybody here that didn't get that information, then I'm assuming that's not the case.
No, I thought this was a good order. Everybody has left. There's been a turnover. Now contacts have gone too. So.
Right. The only thing I would add is that, there is part of this that if you should reach out to the department heads so they know you've made that emergency call as soon as they're available. Okay. Maybe not in the middle of the night, but first thing in the morning. So thank you.
If we can file this, roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Right.
Calorio,
Yes.
Hey.
Hey.
King,
Hey.
He didn't die.
Thank you for not dying, Bill.
How's the audio?
Rivera.
Oh, that's
Sound great.
fantastic.
Mr. Rose.
All right, good.
Mr. Russell.
Yes.
Mr. Toomey.
Yeah, I got attacked by the poop thing. Worcester's new cryptid.
Speed hump pilot program, including issues relative to the impact.
He has risen from the undredged poop.
The process of petitioning the council to be part of any
New cryptid and part-time mascot for the Woo Sox.
It's Poopy the Poop thing.
Less creepy than the smiley ball.
And now it's time to review it.
Oh, thanks for fucking showing up, pal.
Yeah.
Hey,
check.
poop thing. Oh. Just Donna.
There's 2 streets per district.
I shat in Lake Quinsig, and all I got was this lousy poop thing.
I would encourage people that live on those streets would be the ones that I would be very interested in hearing from at my meeting. And
Donna's clearly still recovering from all the science she heard earlier. She's in shock.
And I think it's been
There's
very
a thin trickle of blood coming out of her ear.
It looks like the nape of her neck was caressed by the poop thing.
DPW, the commissioner, and find out in the engineers of what
The poop thing.
street, because some people say I love
Alan Moore's the poop thing.
it's a downhill street. It's
Better not go out alone at night. The poop thing will get you.
So I think this is
His eyes are green, so green.
hopefully this will be moving forward.
The rest of them's brown.
Got to be picking the streets.
He cannot
Oh,
die.
into the poop.
Rest of him, they say, is brown owing to the poop. Because of the poop and all.
And when I was on the traffic and parking subcommittee last term with Councilors Colorio and Councilor Rose, this was one of the more popular items that came up. It seemed like everybody wanted to have a speed hump, and although the program was a pilot program, we can only accommodate
Speed hump. That's a good name for a club.
Anecdotally, it seemed like overwhelmingly a positive program. There was one meeting I remember where somebody showed up and said they weren't happy with it. The rest of the neighbors showed up, and I'm not sure they made it home safely. They weren't very happy with the comment because I think overwhelmingly it's been a positive program. I would just note
Jack
that
Murray.
I want to hear from the neighbors and certainly hear from the residents if there are
The
issues
councils
with it.
are discussing speed humping,
I would say
not in the
going
way you'd
forward,
think.
In initial conversations with others, I do think
It's the hot new event.
considering expanding. I know there'll be some budget requests coming forward from all the councilors. I think 2 streets per district kind of hampers some of the district councilors' abilities to choose.
We should dip Kate Toomey into the poop and pull her out.
Are we really moving forward with speed bumps in the city?
Yeah, there's just, I suppose there's a speed hump pilot program that Donna Colorio would wish to expand.
That's ridiculous. I didn't think that was actually going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
We're just turning the second largest city in New England into a nursing home parking lot.
I'm gonna catch such sick fucking air off those things.
Yes.
What's really missing in the representation here is everyone with a lowered Honda Civic.
This as well.
We should ask them how they feel about speed humps.
Driving diagonally over it.
Yeah.
And requests I got when people spotted them, say, "Can we get one on the street? Can we go on the street?" But it would be really beneficial to be able to get a report to be able to see how it impacted those communities.
Let's put speed humps on the 290 Lake Quinsig Bridge so we can fill the lake with poop and cars.
I requested it by Woodland, Woodland Street, because of the school, Claremont Academy in Woodland. And mainly because there was so much concern regarding.
And just remember, when you poop in the city, there's an 0.0625 chance it ends up in Lake Quinsig.
I know that I've gotten some really good feedback in regarding that, but I know that
Chevy Malibu, that's too nice for an intern.
Well, as we're heading to budget season, I think.
Yeah, give Jill your car, Jack.
I also would
give me the keys.
Support moving forward. It's tough when you have this limited location, and we do live in such a, we are living in a second largest city in New England, an urban community, and
all right, yeah,
making
it's Daddy Bill's money now.
Yeah,
traffic safety has been
Hand
so
it on over to
important.
Uncle Bill. We got to fight the swamp thing,
Concerns that
the
I
poop
put
thing.
forward, and what I focused on was where it was
Jack, I'm gonna need your Chevy Malibu.
an
I'm going
area
out to kill
of
the poop
high,
thing.
walkability. So
Yeah, exactly.
I think I would look forward to be able to see a report come back to see the efficacy of this project and how we continue to expand on it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So everybody wants to sign on? Okay, as amended. Council Toomey, you want to sign on? You want to speak? No, Council Toomey?
Oh, boy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could we also have, as part of that report, the pluses and minuses or response from the folks that have had them? I know that for the most part, it's been very successful and very
For the most part,
wanted,
humping is
warranted,
very fun and good, but
some concerns.
speed humping might not be the best thing for some of our more elderly residents to attempt.
I heard Kate Toomey got a speed hump from someone's husband.
Oh,
Gloria?
Bill, watch out, it's coming.
Yes.
It's the poop thing.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
My name's Dr. Charles Steinberg, and I would just love to present to the city of the Worcester our new mascot, Poopy, the poop thing. He'll help you fill out your student loan forms, kids. Just don't let him directly touch the paper.
During the first week of the school in the fall of 2022, increases awareness around newborn abandonment and options available to parents, including being able to reward
It's Poopy.
or younger at a hospital, police station, or a manned fire station without facing criminal prosecution.
Farts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Take me out to the poop
BACJ has been in
thing.
effect since 2004 in Worcester.
Take me right
It's
down the
led the way
drain.
for years. I think that we have
Buy me some poopy and farter jacks. I don't care if my poop never comes back.
But as we were here, someone referenced to me that there may not be a baby safety sign on our police headquarters. So I'd like a motion to
Poopy.
As to what Sean Rose is saying right now,
I
I would
the
definitely
worst
say,
place.
yeah, do not drop your baby off at the police station.
That's terrible. A terrible idea.
Have you tried? I think we should give all our babies to the poop thing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So we can train them.
Sign on to this.
Goldie's first words are going to be ACAB.
The baby safety legislation has been extremely important. I've worked in child welfare for over a quarter of a century.
0.0625 of the babies who get dropped off at the police station get beat up by the cops.
Children just left.
They'd be better off with the poop thing.
Not safe.
They only planted drugs on that one.
It's really traumatizing. It's real. And this particular measure right here.
My name is Poopy, and I am the poop thing, and I love minor league ball.
Will save the life of an infant.
King does look like he's about to take a little poop thing himself, but he's caught in the bind of you have to stand to talk at the city council, but the mics are for sitting. So
abandonments as this
he has to crouch over.
This order states it's about options, and that's one of the options in the toolkit that will save.
We should get them ring announcer mics that come down from the ceiling.
This is
and then they have to say, "Let's get ready to rumble" before they say anything else.
Perhaps getting the signage up as soon as possible.
Let's get it on would also be acceptable.
Okay, so we're going to send that to the manager as amended. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Gloria?
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
We got to get Diarrhea Planet to play at Ralph so the poop thing comes out of hiding.
Russell?
Yes.
Toomey?
Oh, this band's all right.
Yes.
He's just really getting into it.
Yeah, he's moshing, getting poop over everybody.
Including potholes that are damaged in the winter.
Windmills of poop.
With pothole repairs, patches, and long patches. Councilor Rose.
Poop thing. You make my butt stink.
on our city streets. District 1, and it just seemed like there's a lot of work to be done.
Poop.
One of the major contributors to the damage of our streets, and this is
that's a smash hit by Gary Shitter.
Had some constituents reach out and say, well, why can't we use some of this funds to do,
Another person, do not put a baby safe haven sign on his door.
Do not give any babies to Gary Shitter. He'll do bad things to them.
Troubler,
And
you missed a lot.
It's a lot. We talked for about an hour about all the poop in the lake and what we aren't going to do about it.
But the fish are fine.
This is a good summary. Baby man and poop thing.
A good part of the city.
The adventures of Baby Man and Poop Thing.
Should be explored. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Sunday.
Worcester's local cryptid, the Poop Thing.
I have a quick question to the
He's here. He's talking to us.
I know we have a new app, new technology to report.
Really putting the shit in shit talk
potholes,
tonight.
and I'd like you to just kind of educate the public on that very briefly, and also, what's the volume look like? I know that this is
residual. My God.
Yeah, what's the volume look like? The chair.
Mr. Manager.
It's so tangled and
Through you,
shit.
Mr. Chairman, I'd have to get a report on the actual number, but we all drive on the city streets and experience.
Yeah, Mo Bergman, you wish you had hair.
Other communities. This has been pretty harsh.
My hair is sponsored by
Now it's
neglect.
less the money, to be honest with you, it's the bodies. We're doing what was supposed to be a small snowstorm that ended up being like a 24-hour continuous snowstorm, and the crews have been out the whole day before on Saturday trying to do pothole repairs and kind of catch up with the potholes that have been.
Didn't work.
We do count on the
I got a flat tire that night.
We're not going to have city staff.
There's a pothole on Mill Street that they repaired over must have been the beginning of the week. But the pothole was so big that, it had to be about 2 feet around, and it went all the way down through all the asphalt. But instead of filling it, they just made like a bridge across the middle of it. So there's like one like track of tar, so that like you can't fall in on either side. But like you fuckers just half-ass everything.
You just got to drive real careful.
Thank you. And is there a sort of gradation of severity for these, and does that impact the responsiveness?
A match made in heaven.
I think they're often looking for, how to be the most efficient.
You think Mo Bergman would be saying that?
Limited number of folks. So if there's
Ed Augustus knows where the bodies are.
Damage or injury to somebody, those get prioritized. But if you get ones that are in close proximity, that are multiple in a tight area, they try to go out and hit all of those at the same time. So we're having as much impact with the folks that we do have available.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just thought it was important to let the public know that the city of Worcester's workforce
Keep squares out.
The other workforce on this pandemic.
You got to earn it.
It's not an excuse, it's reality.
Yeah.
And the administration have the opportunity to speak that to the public.
I like the idea of somebody driving through the Rouse parking lot, getting a flat tire, and then getting out to change their flat tire and twisting their ankle because it's so
but know that thank you, Mr.
so hazardous.
One of the last time I was there, I stepped out of my car in Converse sneakers and went right through the ice into like a 3-inch puddle, and just had to work the rest of the night with a extremely wet and cold foot.
Shocking
that
that
puddle
is drown out there.
Yeah, that puddle full of shit.
One time there was a girl that was on like a bunch of acid, and she just went out and sat in the middle of one of the puddles.
Instead of available options provide additional funding for completion of the Worcester Black History Trail.
That is such a good. I haven't looked at that yet, Travis. Can you put that up again?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can we take 11B concurrently?
I am the opera man.
The Council City of Worcester does hereby recognize and support the work done and the efforts made by
the Hunchback of Notre Dame Academy
Committee, including Dr. Thomas Dutton, Keith Scott, Gordon Ward, Gordon Davis, Nick Schuler, Fred Taylor, Jay Anderson, the Laurel Clayton Project, the
Che.
Worcester NAACP, see Worcester Office of City Manager Evelyn Augustus, see Worcester Department of Public Works and Parks, Assistant
Future Mayor
Commissioner
Che
of Parks,
Anderson.
Bob Antonelli, the Office of Cultural Development of Officer Erin Williams, and staffer
Future tyrant.
Staffer Rain, and College of Holy Cross.
At least
Associate
you've been getting something done.
Relations.
Yeah, right.
Further that there was
Fresh pair of Nikes for every
Black
person.
History Project, led by Deborah Hall, the longtime Black
Yeah, the
activist
city will
and
be
Coleman
sponsored by the
III,
sneaker
along
app.
with Worcester City Council Christian King. Further that the council does hereby further goal of edifying and valuing Worcester Black history and
Don't pick your nose while you're talking about Black history.
I just wanted to
Did he just pick his nose?
He just picked his fucking nose.
That's awesome. Joe Petty kicks ass.
With exhibits over at the Worcester Historical
What a
Museum over
maroon.
there. I bring this forward.
Oh, Marone, he picked his
I'm
nose.
excited. This body approved funding some time ago. The city manager offered in response to a community app request to edify and value Worcester's Black history in perpetuity. And that's exactly what's
It's
happening.
too long.
Report to you, Mr. Chairman. that
Too
we-
many examples.
Yeah, we'd have to put it in the theater.
With the leadership.
Can we take advantage of tax credits?
College of the Holy Cross.
If you shoot more than 50% of it in Massachusetts, then you can write off the portion that you filmed in Massachusetts.
leading the committee.
But there's no movie theater in Worcester, so
again, we
no one
have
will
our
ever see
folks
it.
in the committee who are doing the work. Deborah Hall, Parley Jones, Bill Coleman. But this particular project has included for 3 years members of
Yeah,
the
probably.
Black community, Keith Scott, Gordon Ward, Gordon Davis, and of course Fred Taylor, Jay Anderson. And
yeah,
the
I
Laurel
don't.
Clayton project played a huge role.
Have there been specific
Really, a lot of
examples?
those
I'm
ideas,
curious.
Came forward.
I don't
out of
doubt it
that
at
group,
all.
Along with the leadership of
Yeah, I
Black
don't know of any
Development.
myself.
Worcester NAACP. I wanted to mention Mr. Antonelli.
Give us the
This is
deets.
hard. He's been in those meetings from day one.
Joe Petty strikes me as someone who might be like specifically racist towards like one like ethnic group, just in like a very specific way.
I mean,
Hates
fighting
people from
to-
Azerbaijan. Yeah.
Yeah, like he just can't stand Cape Verdeans, right?
Black History Trail. The
He's
Black
fighting to
History
preserve
Trail
the Columbus statue, so that his family,
is,
his wife's family, donated.
really outlining the history of Worcester's families, Worcester's Black churches, how economic development impacted the community, and in a way that will be engaging.
I know, Jack. It was just a fucking throwaway example, all right? To prove a hypothetical point. God damn it! Get back in your cage.
Draw people
Yeah.
together. And city
Jack,
managers-
start making that
it's-
compilation of nose picking
department
videos.
heads, you know, if you go downstairs to the site,
I'll pick my nose for you right here.
welcome the public and my colleagues to go down there. We have the 5 locations that we're starting with. We have those kiosks.
Wow.
Replicas
Holy
of the
shit.
kiosks downstairs. They can take a look of what that's going to look like. And I'm just
Yeah,
very excited. And we're very close.
Still,
to
that's
the end.
fucking
And
crazy.
Some of the asks that we've
That's
requested,
that's fucking.
the committee just recently met, and you
What a wild ass thing to say.
they really want to create sort
the
of
fuck?
a roving.
You should stick to opening fuel
display of the
cafes.
5 kiosks. And we want to do that throughout the Black churches. You know, there's challenges now. We're meeting virtually, but as we move back to
Oh my god, the Joe Petty N-word compilation would be so much better than the Joe
like
Rogan
some
N-word
additional
compilation.
to the discretion of the committee and the manager that they can work on to really highlight.
Is
this
that the
and
same space?
create the public
Is where
education
fuel
necessary.
is? I don't.
Uh,
Has Lucky's
it's-
actually cleared out yet? I don't think it's the
I don't
same
know how
space.
this works.
It's not the exact same
Yeah, but
space. It's the
100
same
anniversary
building, but
of the
Yeah.
city. You know, we're
Lucky's
hoping
was in the
that
basement, and Fuel is
300
like on
years
In the
first
alley,
floor.
right?
Yeah,
300 years. Tertiary. How do you say it, Mr. Chairman?
tertiary.
Yeah, that. You know, this is all
Third centennial.
quickly, and you know, I know that I've been
Poop
Coming
thing.
up on the 300th anniversary of the
I
poop
know
thing in
this
Worcester.
is
The third
sign on
centennial.
to both of these. that this is really
What a way to bring in the third centennial, dumping 5 million gallons of Wicklow shit
coming up, hopefully by
into the lake.
early March. And just wanted to give an opportunity first to say thank you to everyone. An opportunity.
Is this right? Is this right now?
Wanted to
Yenny?
Okay. Mr. Manager?
I shat in Lake Quinsig, and all I got was this stupid cryptid.
My appreciation to the committee and to all the folks who have been involved in this project.
13-year-old boy on the loose.
the council-
Good thing we just brought on the baby man.
initiative to tell the story of
I'll find him.
the Black community here in
If
Worcester.
you're on Twitter, folks, share that or look out your window if you live near Elm Park.
These kiosks could be located
Jack, get in that Chevy Malibu and hunt this kid down.
within the city of the Black experience.
Has there been any word on that? There's a 15-year-old girl missing from Worcester for like a month.
Haven't seen
Not
anything.
that I've heard. No.
That was a
Except-
weird one too. That like just seemed like the family was ignored for quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited that it comes about the same time. We brought online the Major Taylor Museum, which is our newest cultural offering. That museum is specifically there at
What?
the request of the city of Worcester.
Dude, it's
Developer of the courthouse put in some.
and it's one of those things too where they're like, oh well, she's left home before, so she'll probably be back.
Traffic. We wanted
And they told them to fuck off.
folks to interact with that building and the Major Taylor Museum.
Yep.
Another way to educate people about
Worcester police aren't like other police departments. We're different here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know,
I saw
can't,
that too.
Overstate the importance of this.
I
to
think
our entire community.
Jamo
As
posted it
history
earlier.
Of that has been omitted regarding the Black community here in Worcester is lifted up and edified. It's important. And I look forward to how the committee and how the stakeholders involved, the city of Worcester, how College of the Holy Cross, Laurel Clayton Project, and all of the individual members we referenced, educate us as a city, educate our kids, our families, the folks who come visit, and to create that synergy between what's already out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too am incredibly excited about this. I want to thank the Worcester Black History Committee and other community members and stakeholders in the Black community for their help and support and feedback and research and helping move this forward.
I don't know, guys. This sounds a lot like CRT. So
Don't even utter that because that's Mo Bergman will flip so fast on this thing.
Influential leader in Black history with a little summary, and it was people were the next day before I could get the next one out. People were already asking me, when are you going to get this up? Like, who's going to be up today? And if I can do something like that and so small to excite people and educate people, I can't imagine what this group of people will do to educate. And this is an exciting project. I want to thank the city manager for prioritizing it as well and doing it in a way that was intentional and thoughtful and bringing people, the right people together to get it done. Thank Councilor King for his leadership on this as well.
if you don't praise the city manager enough, he'll just wither away and die. So they all have to keep doing that.
Take part in learning more of our Black history here in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll send that to the.
I just wanted to clarify quickly, just so the public isn't confused. The Worcester Black History Committee and the Black History Trail is separate and distinct from the council, further recognizing the efforts of Deborah Hall, Harley Jones, and the Black History Project, along with William S. Coleman III, who's done some work in regards to the history of Worcester. So I just wanted to clarify that. This is a great moment. We have a lot of leaders from a lot of places, so thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to sign on myself. And so I take 10J and refer that to the manager. And I take 11B as a resolution. You can take them collective if you like. Roll call.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Caloria?
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Mayor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes, 13A, transferring information communication concerning building blocks, which is a new tool that members of the council and support staff may utilize to find information on particular properties in the city. Refer that to Urban Technology Innovations, and that's a good report, Mr. Clerk. Thank you. And Council King.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is just for council and support staff, right?
It's the public, too,
It's
right?
for the public.
Through the chair to the councilors, at this point, it is for the council and support staff. You know, the city manager's team also, probably, we're working with them, see how we can make that available to the public, but we'll have a discussion in Urban Tie about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The reason I rise, Mr. Chairman, is if in fact this sort of application is provided to the public, I'm just wondering, and I know it's different sorts of.
Bill, you chewing on your mic?
I'm wrestling my upper lip on the windscreen.
My line of work with child welfare and what have you, we have situations with victims of domestic violence.
I thought maybe you were being driven mad by the poop thing. The call of the poop thing.
Always. Always.
More of a report. Moving forward, if this
Call of the poop thing.
something that we provide,
Poopers rise.
information on the website regarding homes.
Heed my call.
Any considerations can be made for the public health and safety of any victims of domestic violence.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm stupid.
Identify LGBTQ, whatever it might be.
I'm imagining it being a cookie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I've got 2 pieces of pizza left. I'm thinking about eating after the stream. That's what I was been thinking about.
Roll call.
Oh, hell
Councilor
yeah.
Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Hamburg mushroom.
Yes.
Councilor Mayor Carlson?
So are we doing nukes tonight or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilor
I don't
Rose?
know.
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
They've been really
Toomey?
Yes.
flipping around this agenda. You know, they've been going a lot of things out of order. I'm kind of lost.
That's it. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Poop thing.
Calorio?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Councilor Mayor
Master of the piss
Carlson?
thing.
Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell? Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes, 15B, recommend council's adoption of the attached salary ordinance amendments. Public Works there, so roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Mayor Carlson?
Just reading the scroll, I want to believe that Coco is Joe's pet name for Nico.
Councilor Rose?
Yeah.
Yes.
Coco, the vote, please.
Toomey? And Mayor Petty.
Yes, we have reports of the planning board. We have 16A, 16C, refer to Economic Development Committee, and 16D, refer to the Public Works Committee. Roll call.
Joe Petty could use a pop filter.
Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Roll call.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes, now we have reports of the subcommittee. So we have 17A to 17C, the motions to accept. We have reports of the Public Works, 18A to 18L minus 18K and 18Z, which is held. And we have 18M through 18GG minus.
I don't know what's happening with the nuclear thing. Did they already do that? And we just missed it?
No.
And,
I want to hear the mayor try and pronounce the word nuclear.
I have a, excuse me, could I have a question?
Okay, we'll come back to that.
On 19, when you.
Okay, so we'll do 18s. Collectively on a roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Mayor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes, now we have 19A through 19R minus 19P, which is held. Council Coro.
Thank you. As I was reviewing these.
Cops Cora.
Items that we voted on.
That's what they just called Senator Calorio.
I.
Cops, Cora?
San-
of the items.
You
that
say
were
Senator
filed.
Colorio? Don't put that fucking evil out in the world, Travis.
I said counselor.
It sounded like senator. Oh boy.
No, no, no.
That
Oh,
when an item is filed in my committee, or could be any committee, and there's additional information like signage being put up, whatever the additional information is, that it would also be included in the report here. So when the general public sees it, they can understand that even though it was filed, that they were going to put up maybe a warning sign or something else involved. So if that's clear, my motion, I just trying to make it up as I go here, so.
Okay, no, it's clear.
Shocker.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so again, we got 19A.
Mr. Chairman?
Council Toomey?
I have a question, and perhaps through you, Councilor Colorio could answer it, but 19R was a petition to request a traffic study at the intersection of Lincoln and Catherine for safety reasons, and it says that they recommend that the petition be filed. So was that just dismissed, or was that one of those things that there was a resolution or a traffic study was approved?
We can hold
Through the
that if you
chair,
want.
well, yeah, we can hold that and we can get further explanation. That's, I think a couple of these are a little fuzzy, and I apologize, but now moving
Okay.
forward, we'll have a little bit more detail in these
Thanks,
reports.
because that's a public safety issue. and I
Thank you.
really-
Okay, we're gonna go to 19A, 19R minus 19P, and 19
How long have you been on the council, Kate?
which are held on 20.
Too long.
C. Motion to accept. Roll call.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Colorio?
Yes.
Council Haji?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Mark Carlson?
Yes.
Council Nguyen?
One week we play a drinking game that we all drink when he says roll call.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Would make it 20 minutes.
Yes.
Yes. So we have a motion to adjourn.
Hey, what happened with the nuclear thing?
Council Bergman?
Roll call.
Yes.
Council Haji?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Mark Carlson?
Yes.
Council Nguyen?
Yes.
Council Rivera?
We must have missed it. They must have talked about it or
Yes.
something.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes.
They didn't talk. They didn't discuss it. They must have held it.
2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks. We're off next week. We're in 2 weeks.
They're off next week.
Off next week for why? Why would you do that?
Well, they're annoyed with masks.
Bathe in shit down at the lake.
They're gonna go.
Oh,
dredge the
school.
lake.
Wait, that's why? Because of school vacation week?
Well, they're not in school.
Clearly, they're mostly stupid.
Clara
maybe
and
we
Adele
can-
whispering at the end. They're probably both like, "This shit sucked, huh?"
Maybe we can figure out a reason to stream next week. But
Good one. Good one. We love that. Oh, don't threaten me.
Oh no.
Don't
Oh,
threaten me with a
no.
good time. Don't threaten me with a good time.
I guess we won't then. Because Monsieur Balls told us not to. Snidely Wishplash over here.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's see.
a fascinating meeting.
We have a baby man now. There's a poop thing.
Do we have any clarity on this?
The Board of Health is going to meet tomorrow and redo the vote, and they think they can do that, and the city lawyer thinks they can do that, and that's where we're at. It's just going to happen.
So the city's getting sued again.
It's entirely possible that some sort of
have we considered
open meeting
that
law or something.
that Michael Traynor is a shitty lawyer? Because this city loses lawsuits left and fucking right.
The city has for decades really had a bad track record with lawsuits. It's insane how many lawsuits we lose.
Every time he says he has an opinion that we can't do that for legal reasons, I want to be like, are you sure? Because you seem like a shitty lawyer.
Yeah, he really doesn't understand what's going on.
But the wild part is that because they settle so many lawsuits, that on paper it actually looks like they've got a decent track record because of the way settlements are handled versus just losing and having a judgment sent your way. That's what was odd about the Telegram lawsuit. It was actually a judgment and a judge sitting there saying, "You guys just suck. You're like really bad at your jobs."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the Telegram. Wait, the vote that we're doing is the mask mandate vote,
right?
Because Gary Rosen wasn't sworn in yet, so he was literally just some fucking guy, right? Like he forgot to go do it. He forgot to go get sworn in. So his vote doesn't count. He is a messy bitch.
So he should be struck from being on the board because he voted illegally.
Yeah.
And they should dunk him in Lake Quincy.
Yeah. And it'll come out the poop thing.
The poop thing. Son of poop thing, Gary Rosen.
Son of poop thing, Gary Rosen. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, so I mean nothing really
happened.
Super crazy happened.
No,
tonight.
nothing happened at all.
Just talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Christian King went. It would sure be nice if we had a civilian review board, and can we make sure all these things related to racial equity actually happen? And the city manager went, yeah, sure, whatever, bud.
I think, yeah, I mean, obviously it would be a huge thing for the city to have that. We should push for it. We should press them. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
We should press them on it for sure. And also, just tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah. And then we adopted a baby man who's going to take all our babies. And yeah, it's like stuff that would get thrown out at the Parks and Rec cutting room floor. Yeah.
That's what we're left with.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then similar to the racial equity stuff, we spent the most time in the meeting on a massive problem with our sewer infrastructure that nobody seems to know how to fix. If you were paying attention, no one really had a single idea on how to fix that or make sure it doesn't happen again.
No.
And
they were just trying to explain why they didn't know what happened at first, and that it's not that much shit when you think about it.
Yeah, that's literally, you're exactly right. That was their response. It was like, well, there's 8 billion gallons of water in there, so it's really not even that much poop. It's like still a lot more poop than it should have been.
And the youngest person in the room was the smartest person in the room, which was fantastic to see. Yeah.
Right.
It's true. Yeah, well, because the only way to make sure that people forget about it before they get any answers is to take fucking forever to provide any answers. Yeah, I think you guys are gonna have to sell those shirts.
Yeah.
We should get the fish kill poop girl on. Although I'm sure she has a name that she'd prefer to go by. So look for that design on billshaner.bigcartel.com. Go on Apple Podcasts or Patreon and listen to WGBH. Worcester's Good But Hurts. Great episode. Bill, I do think it's important to mention that while you're baiting WGBH, the radio station, there's also the television station that's called WGBH that has considerably more power that I think might come after you too. So
good.
Don't get too distracted by the radio station.
Bring it on.
BillShaner.substack.com.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I totally forgot about the TV. The TV one.
The most powerful PBS station in America.
Yeah.
It's where they make Zoom. So
you should have a segment called Masterpiece Theater where you just bring in like a really special guest to discuss something extremely new.
Bring on Laura Linney to do the intro. Yeah, check out Bill's Substack. He's got some great work that's gone up there recently. Also, check out his article in The Intercept if you haven't read it yet. What the fuck is wrong with you? Bill got published by The Intercept, which is a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
and it's a great article. Do we know where things stand right now with
Well, the most recent update in that was the St. Vincent CEO coming out and saying that the nurses should vote against the union, which is insane, intentionally obstructive, and probably illegal thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at on that. We won't know the final outcome of that decertification vote until late February 28th. Is when the votes get counted. I don't know if the results will be announced that day, but I'll be paying attention to that.
Bill will be on top of it. So follow that. Subscribe to his Patreon. Please subscribe to his Patreon.
Yes.
So he can do more of this. So
yes, that would be great.
And,
that'd be lovely.
You know, go to follow Brendan Melican's defunct podcast that he refuses to talk about.
Yeah. What I can say as an update, don't get COVID. Just don't.
Yeah.
0 stars. I not recommend.
Get a knife from it.
Yeah, if you want to come on the podcast and get a free machete. Yep.
We love that. We would love that. Brendan, Wooberry going to be back open this summer?
That's the plan. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually looking at March. It's going to be a little bit weather dependent, and finding people to work and whatnot. I mean, we're piecing some stuff back together from scratch, but yeah, it'll come together eventually.
Can't wait. I'm very excited to have that back. Listen to my podcast, Parts Unknown, a wrestling podcast. We talked this week about Valentine's Day and the greatest romance angles in wrestling history.
Hell yeah.
Check that out. Yeah, it's a good one. We had a good time. Guys, we'll make an announcement if we're going to do a stream next week. You know, if there's nothing much exciting to talk about, maybe we'll give everybody the week off from hearing about shit in the lake. You know, maybe we'll go down and swim in it as our stream. We'll find out. But if you don't see us next Tuesday, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm dead. Thank you all so much for joining in tonight. Remember to call into the city council, tell them to fuck themselves, tell them to fire Ed Augustus, and vote for Joanna Hampton Dance against Candy Merrill Carlson.
Yeah. These are all good points.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Yeah, take care.